Happy birthday, Scarlett.
Happy birthday to Scarlett. How old?
She's 8.
Bless her heart. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Porcelli's Deli. I'm Vic Porcelli. We are at Vic Porcelli Entertainment. I think you can also get us at our YouTube channel. Where else? There's like a million places you can see this.
Yeah, Nextcore.
Nextcore Facebook page.
The Porcelli Deli Entertainment Facebook page. And in just a minute, I'm going to tell you how to start a watch party on Vic Porcelli's Facebook page.
And what does that mean?
It means, I don't know, there's a little button and it says watch. And it creates a watch party on your own page. And I don't know, people, I guess, watch parties.
So we're all together kind of thing.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah. So
when are we doing that?
Well, do you have your Facebook page?
Of course not. Why would I be prepared?
Pull that up.
Silly girl.
Make sure your sound is turned off.
Silly girl.
I want to give a shout out to Chris Porcelli for writing that intro music for us.
Thank you. He says you're welcome.
Gabe Beer, our video production guy, made that little sandwich intro, and there's kind of a funny story behind it.
Okay, go.
Because I asked him, did you eat the rest of the sandwich? So we could get a picture of the whole thing disappearing, and he's like, oh, haha, funny story. That's not ketchup on top. It's actually sriracha.
Oh.
Because the nozzle was better suited
Sure.
for writing letters.
Totally get that, yeah.
So he took one bite and then had realized what he had done because he got a huge mouthful of just straight sriracha and was unable to
continue.
That's
right. Totally get it. Totally get it. Well, Gabe, thanks for being a trooper, buddy. We appreciate that. All right, so now I am at the Vic Porcelli Entertainment page. And how do we start the watch party? Should we do? Is that something we're doing today or not today?
See, we can do it today. Well, now I gotta. Okay, go down.
Go down.
It says post, and it says we're live now.
Live,
and we have 5 viewers.
Yay!
Thanks, David Jones, for liking Vic Porcelli.
Oh, man.
If you're listening. Okay, you see where it says watch together with friends or with a group?
No, don't have it.
Look at the screen. And we're looking at the large TVs. So Vic
Watch
is trying
together. Oh, I do see that.
Yes. Okay.
So start?
Start that.
Start. Don't know what I do.
I'm not sure.
I can't invite all these people now. I'm talking. I can't talk and chew gum and walk all at the same time.
Well, don't invite. Just start.
Yeah, start. They can still join in.
Oh, I see. Okay, so start and start. All right, watch party has begun.
Woo-hoo.
Get all your friends and have a watch party with us.
Just make sure your volume's off. And I see it. I got notified right away. Vic Porcelli started a watch party.
Yay
Oh,
for watch party.
He learns.
All right, so how was everybody's weekend?
It was good. I got to ride a jet ski.
Oh, tell me about that. I've never done. Oh, yes, I have done that. That's the Sea-Doo. Is that what they're called?
Mm-hmm. The Sea-Doos are different in how, like, one of them has that fountain of water that sprays up behind it, and I think that's the Sea-Doo. I'm not sure. A jet ski doesn't have that. I know that's the difference.
Did you have fun?
But it's great. It's like riding a motorcycle, but it's on the water.
Right. I did that when I was like 18 years old.
Yeah, it's my second or third time doing it in the last couple of years, so I kind of know what I'm doing because I went and did it at Lake Travis. It was really fun.
Where?
Lake Travis, which is in Texas.
You were in Texas over the weekend?
No. This was the first time. So this time I just got randomly invited to a lake party, and I was like, last minute, hold on. And I got ready so fast that I beat them all there by like a half an hour. I don't get invited out much.
Like in the Ozarks?
No, it was called Indian Hills.
And where's that?
It's this really cool kind of private subdivision somewhere near a lake called Indian Hill. And there's maybe a couple hundred houses in it, and everybody seems to have a few acres, and it's real neat. A good enough size lake to
jet ski
around with some other boats and pontoon people.
Right.
And
have you ever water skied?
I don't think I could do that.
I haven't done it.
That requires balance
and knees.
My wife was good at it when she was young. She used to do it all the time. I don't think I would be able to do it.
I just remember trying it one time, and I was so unable to hold on.
Right.
Like, for no amount of length of time.
I would be doing one of those videos you see on America's Funny Videos when the guy face plants into the water. That would be me.
I trip over pockets of gravity walking a straight line. I really don't need to be on water like that.
I trip over pockets of gravity.
That's my excuse.
Can we put that in the quote archive for Porcelli's
I
Day?
trip over pockets of gravity.
I like that.
Yes, that's a T-shirt.
What did you do over the weekend?
We celebrated my daughter's birthday.
Scarlett's 8.
She's 8.
Happy birthday, Scarlett!
You guys caught me off guard. We have video and pictures to prove this
Wait, we
actually
have
happened.
highlights of Scarlett's party?
We do.
I love it.
Let's see if we can switch to that. Oh,
Did she have fun?
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, you're giving things away.
Everybody okay in this video?
Hold on, this is not Scarlett's birthday
They don't
party.
sound so
She
good.
did not. Why can't I find the button?
Birthday, right under Vic.
Here we go. Here's a couple of. She sent me
Aw.
more food, but look, doesn't that cake look delicious?
Are those double stuffed Oreos?
Of course.
And
Now,
this-
you mentioned double stuffed Oreos.
Well, because I don't eat cookies very often.
Were you at the party?
I don't drink milk. No, I just.
Where did your double stuffed Oreo come from?
On the lake after the jet
Hold on.
skis.
You both coincidentally had double stuffed Oreos in 2 completely different places over the weekend?
Yes.
Nobody finds that odd?
I mean, is it really that odd? There's
I
consistently...
didn't have any double stuffed Oreos.
you like
I didn't have any single stuffed Oreos.
Well, we know who's failing in life.
Absolutely. That's a cute cake.
So it looks really good.
That's all she wanted. She wouldn't let me make it pretty or anything. She's like, no, just put Oreos on top,
Is
Mom.
it- What's this game you guys are playing here? Is
It's a Buffy game. Like you get to be the different characters, and it's like a card.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's like that's what she wanted to play, and my co-parent came over for her birthday too, so we celebrated all together. The 3 parents.
There we
There's
go.
the birthday. Happy birthday, Scarlett.
That's the best version of happy birthday you could get.
Yeah, you guys sound very unexcited.
My
This is
children
like
were
a
told.
Quaalude birthday
My
party.
children were told 5 seconds before this that they were going to be put on air, and they're like, oh.
Oh, so nobody wanted to do it.
Like half the children are on the other side of the table because they realized I couldn't see them.
Look over here.
All right, well, when they see this and are unhappy with their performance, we'll give them a redemption birthday song.
So what's funny is the other daughter, she's a great singer. Like all the solos and the choir and all that. So she
what
was
happened?
like, nope. I told her that hundreds of people were going to listen to her the next day.
Hundreds and thousands. Maybe even more now that the watch party has been started.
Yeah.
All right, so water skiing. I'm sorry, not water skiing. Jet skiing.
Jet skiing.
Birthday party. And absolutely nothing but, and we'll get into movies a little bit more in depth in just a bit, but yesterday was Made Man Day on AMC. It was like a Mafia Sunday on AMC. So I watched The Godfather. Godfather 2 was right after it, and then Goodfellas was on right after that. And can I say, Goodfellas, you guys have seen Goodfellas, right?
At some point in my life.
That movie is like a casting call for The Sopranos. There are at least 10 people.
It was like a prerequisite.
Well, that was first. The movie was first. So, and there are at least 10 people in Goodfellas that were in The Sopranos. At least 10.
It's almost as if they saw the Goodfellas and was like, hey guys.
Get him, get him, get him, get him.
All of you.
Yeah.
Get it. Maybe they pulled up to the set with a big truck. Everybody just hopped on the back
Garbage truck, no doubt. But it's interesting, and when I watch movies, even if it's a movie I've seen a million times, I'll go on IMDb and I'll see, because with The Godfather, I wanted to see who was still alive from The Godfather, and there's not many,
Yeah.
I mean, Al Pacino, James Caan, and Talia Shire, but most of the people are dead,
Oh God, I'm messing it up.
It's really, really sad. But I do that a lot, and I started watching Goodfellas and looked at everybody and all the people that were in The Sopranos, and it's absolutely amazing to me how many people went from Goodfellas right to The Sopranos. That was it. That was my Sunday.
Yeah, no. Birthdays and Netflix. That was me too.
Right on. How's Rex?
Well, he had a great time because, before, when I was invited, I was like, well, can I bring my dog?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he had a great time. There was 3 other dogs there.
All right.
And so he got to run with the pack a little bit.
Right.
The very moment that I pulled up, parked, the dog of my friends who always runs away, and Rex just took off into the emerging night. And so I hop in the car and I chase him down. I get the one dog that isn't mine because he's the runner. And I go back and I grab a beer and I'm headed out. I'm going to go get Rex. And by the time I had opened my beer and opened the door, he was already back.
They always come
Back at the house that he had never been to before.
They smell it.
But he knew that I was there.
They smell it.
He's a good dog. When
Of
it
course
comes,
he is.
Like he circles back. He's not gonna ever.
First of all, they know where the food is.
Well, yeah.
And they know who the feed giver is. And that's you.
He's really got a nose on him.
So how's he doing today?
I don't know if he's.
Can we get a quick checkup on Rex every day? On Porcelli's Deli, we check up on Rex to see if
I
he's
haven't been
tearing anything up.
notified in a minute, so I don't know if he's still under the table.
Well, last time it was quiet. If you
he's
remember,
moved.
it was a little too quiet.
Yeah.
Nothing. Wow.
Yeah, he might be downstairs.
He's playing the drums in the basement for sure.
He moved the unicorn. I know I didn't put it away. Well, when I get a ding,
All right.
we'll go back to Rex.
When we get a ding, we'll check up on Rex and see
But he had a great weekend.
how he's behaving. That's so great that he got to do it. Did he go in the water at all? Is he like a
He
water
did a
dog?
little bit, because there was another dog who was a really super swimmer, and they had 3 tennis balls. And so the one dog was going deep into the water after the balls. But Rex got up to maybe the top of his belly a little bit, which is a lot for him.
Does he like it?
I don't know. I don't think he knows how
Does
to.
his breed like it?
German Shepherd, Pit, or Lab.
No, probably not.
Probably none of them.
'Cause
He's not a big swimmer.
Phantom is Newfoundland Standard Poodle mix, and the Newfoundland part loves the water. And we've never taken him to the. He's never been swimming. I feel so terrible.
You should take him
And
to.
he's like 10 years old now, and getting up's like, ugh.
He's gonna have to float.
But
Get
it's
him a
ama-
hot tub.
It's amazing to me how animals are so much smarter than we are.
Right.
Instincts that they have, like when a dog has puppies, they just have the puppies. There's no Lamaze class, there's no epidural, there's no nurse, there's no coach telling them to breathe,
Ultrasound.
no
A
ultrasounds.
photo of all the puppies in the belly. That would be cute.
But they don't do it. They don't need it because they're smart. Fish, oh my God. So two of the female betas, they're not pregnant, but they have the eggs, which you can actually see.
They're ovulating.
Big, but you can see them, And the problem is they either have to mate and have baby fishies, or they can get this, I forget what it's called. My wife calls it egg bladder or egg something, and it could hurt them. So we've been watching videos on how to get two of them together because we have a bunch of males too, and it's amazing how instinctive everything is. The male betas make this bubble nest. They just make a bunch of bubbles in the top of the water, and then you have to put the two of them together, and then they make this kind of thing where the guy like squeezes the girl and she passes out. And then when the eggs drop, he goes and grabs every egg. He doesn't miss an egg, and puts them all in the bubble nest. And then you kick the wife out, and he takes care of everything by himself.
We could all learn a lot from a fish.
Yeah.
Animals in general. There was a tsunami in Indonesia about 20 years ago. And do you remember the video of that? People taking it from the hotel and the water's just coming up on the hotel. A lot of people died in that, but not one wild animal lost their life in that because they instinctively sought higher ground.
Yeah, I'm always amazed if I take Rex to the river or we're walking and it's vicarious. He finds the way that is the easiest path to get where you're going.
Instincts.
Like sometimes you have to walk through a bush to go with him, but like somehow he knows where the ground is good.
Right.
And it's instinct.
See, my instinct just says this might be difficult. Sit back down.
I want to give a shout out to Anthony, my neighbor who loves my dog. He just commented Rex is a great dog.
Rex is a great dog. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it.
You don't have to live with him, so you
By the
don't
way,
know,
if
but
you have comments for the show,
getting
just
better.
put them down there on the comments page. In 2008, there was an earthquake about 100 miles east of St. Louis. And it was early in the morning. I was doing mornings then. And I'm sitting there and I got the laptop open and I'm drinking coffee. And all of a sudden our bird, who we don't have anymore, he was a green parrot. His name was Larry.
Oh.
Larry Bird. It seems obvious. He was green. He was a bird, His name was Larry. And Larry was so awesome because he loved us. You know, first of all, my wife, we got him as a little baby little thing, and my wife used to feed him with like an eyedropper. You know, so he totally trusts us and everything.
Yeah.
And if you go by his cage, you didn't even have to open the door. But if you did open the door, he'd put his foot up right away. He wanted to sit. He wanted to sit on your finger.
Oh, that's cool.
You know, and I grew up kind of a city guy, and I don't like having a bird sit on your finger. To me, is my absolute connection with nature. You know, because he trusts you enough to sit on his finger, sit on your finger, and then if you like rub the back of a bird's neck like this, that's like orgasmic to them. Like, oh my God, that feels so good. But I would take him by the back and lean him back, and he would completely just lean back, and that's total trust because he's exposing his throat to you.
Yeah.
And he knows you won't hurt him. Anyway, so it's early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm having coffee, looking at the laptop, and Larry starts freaking out. I mean, squawking and feathers flying everywhere. And I was like, Larry, what's the matter? And then I felt the rumble.
Huh.
And then I got to work, and there was an earthquake.
He felt it first.
He felt it before we did.
Wow.
I did.
I lived with a bird once.
Did you like that?
It was odd. Because it was like, obviously his house and not mine. And he was real kind of territorial.
Isn't that always how it is?
Like when I would wash the dishes in the kitchen or whatever, he liked to be under my feet just to...
Oh, so you didn't keep him in the cage, you let him go out after
Yeah,
work?
he just kind of hung out.
What about when you opened the door?
He just kind of hung out.
He never wanted to fly
No.
away?
I mean, we were in Hawaii. Again with the food, you know, they just kind of hang out where they know they can eat.
I just get so worried. Because if Larry had gotten out and flew
I
away,
mean, cats.
I would have... Oh, don't even talk to me about that. I told you the asparagus story. Asparagus, the theater cat, always wanted to go out,
Yeah.
went out, and got smushed. And it broke my heart. I worry about the fish.
Right.
You know, like I'm worried about putting Hedwig in with the female beta because I don't know what's going to happen to him. And Hedwig's he's the patriarch of the fish.
What does that mean?
Well, if it's a girl, it's a matriarch. The oldest is a matriarch, and if it's a guy, it's a patriarch. But if they're fish, I guess they're patriarchs.
Ah, that's a good term.
We do make up our own terms. Like we learned that survival of the fittest is what we always
You
say.
guys need a Purcell's Pet Dictionary.
You just need a Porcelli dictionary. Period. My wife and I have been together so long. It's like there are certain phrases and things that only we know what we're talking about.
That'd be great if you got like a coffee table book or maybe one of those calendars where you could rip off and every day was a different...
Porcelli phrase of the day calendar. Yeah.
You should work on that. We need some more merch and products in your store.
We do need more merch.
Get,
Do we have merch?
kind of. There's some
getting there.
available. If you go to thevoiceofpurcelli.com/deli or just click on the deli logo, I have created some stickers and some items that you can purchase online. I don't know if you've seen them. Let me pull this up on the
Go ahead,
browser
pull it
for
up
you.
and put it up and let's take a look. Oh my God, there are so many comments on our movie question. I can't even believe it. Let's go back to this one. So we'll have official merch, I guess, for you guys to buy. Coffee with Vic. Is there going to be Coffee with Vic merch too?
Perhaps. I don't like the logo as much, so I haven't put them up there yet.
So we got
Let
a
me
shirt.
switch over to your browser view.
Okay, browser view, please.
Turn Safari, activate Safari. All right. So yeah, I just threw your logo up on
So-
Redbubble, and so there's T-shirts, there's buttons, there's
That's
even
a refrigerator magnet up there?
yes, and an apron.
How about a mask for COVID protection?
We have that too.
Of course we do. There it is!
It's not sure how to get it.
We saw it.
We did. They didn't.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
I guess you guys want to see it too, right?
the internet is lagging.
I promise it's there though.
But we have a Porcelli's Deli face mask.
Right on.
Look at that.
Right on!
At the low price of $12.49, you could rock Porcelli's Deli when you go to the deli.
So how do they order that?
You just click on the image once they get to your web page, and it'll take you to the website that I've got all these. They're like a drop ship type situation. So if someone orders a few of them. They print them up, mail them out for us, and then.
So I saw a coffee mug too, though, but it looked like a travel mug. Do you have any like ceramic mugs with it on it? Because I love that.
This site's pretty cool. It puts it on everything.
Okay.
So there are mugs up there.
Matter of fact, if you want it, we'll figure it out.
Exactly.
If you want the Porcelli's Deli logo on something, we will figure it out and get it to you. Just go to Vic Porcelli Entertainment for more information on that.
If you'd like to get it tattooed, we'll give you $100
Wow.
out of my own personal account.
Wow. That is a bargain. If you would like to get Porcelli's Deli tattooed on your body, Jen will pay for it.
Yes.
Really?
Sure.
Wow.
If someone's willing to do that, we're going to take a video of you getting the tattoo and we're going to play it on the air.
But it has to be the whole logo.
Oh, yeah, the arch, the lightning bolts, the sandwiches, the whole 9 yards.
All right, so next topic. We walked in this morning.
And we had a rough go of it.
We had a bit of a crisis, and we actually have a video of what happened this morning here at NextCore.
Is it going to, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please calm down. Please listen to me. I want to tell you what's going on with the ship. Thank you. We've been thrown off course just a tad. What exactly is a tad? In space terms, that's about 500,000 miles. The bumps you feel are asteroids smashing into the hull of this ship. Also, we're flying without a navigational system and can't seem to change course.
Are you telling us absolutely everything?
Not exactly. We're also out of coffee.
So that was the crisis we had this morning. We did not panic, so we have coffee now.
Well, luckily, yeah, we're not totally out of coffee and we're not in space.
At that moment, we were out of coffee.
No, you guys just had to call for me. Hey, we're
I
out
know.
of coffee. Becca, we're out of
It
coffee.
was very easy to fix. I literally just said, Becca!
Wow.
I don't even think I said coffee. She just came in there and knew what to do.
Thank you. It's
So
very
that's one of the amenities you get at NextCore.
Okay. We have a guest coming in at 1 o'clock. I don't know if we should start the movie. Yeah, let's start. Want to start the movie thing now, or you want to?
Well, we can start it now. We're going to need to interview. We have an interview with Joda from Tempo of the Dogs.
Is that now or is that later?
Maybe in about 5-10 minutes.
Okay, so we can't do movies in 5-10 minutes.
What kind of comments are you getting?
Well, the
It's
question
crazy over here.
to the audience was, what movie have you seen more than 5 times and you keep going back for more?
Okay.
You?
Well, okay, it's been a long time since I've really watched movies repeatedly, but like I mentioned, when I was in college, we had a VHS player and only like 2 VHS tapes. And so for probably through freshman, sophomore year, I had 10 Things I Hate About You, which is a horribly campy high school
So good.
feel-good film
Nothing wrong with camping.
with Julia Stiles.
Heath Ledger, you can't forget Heath Ledger.
And I would just hit play and get as far as I got and stop it, and I would just rewind it and start over.
So you've never seen the ending?
No, well,
it a happy
honestly,
ending?
I can't even.
It is.
I think they fall in love and graduate.
Of course they
do something cool with their lives.
Becca, you got a movie you've seen more than 5 times? You keep going back for more?
I have a lot, but the one that comes to mind is one that really used to tick off my ex and all of our roommates because I bought the movie Repo, the Genetic Opera, and I was kind of in a similar situation as Jen. We didn't have any cable, we didn't have local channels, we had like 10 DVDs and constantly had like 5 to 10 people in the apartment at once. So I ended up watching it for about a week straight to where, and it's an opera, so I'm singing every word for a week straight, and they finally were like, you're grounded. We're taking this.
This is
Repo, the Genetic Opera.
Believe it or not, I think I've seen that.
It's so...
Who's in it?
It has Anthony Stewart Head. It has, what's her name? From Spy Kids, Alexa
Oh, no, I don't think
something.
so. Paul Sorvino's not in it, is he?
He is.
So I have seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine are obviously The Godfather, and Godfather 2, which both were on over the weekend. But it was on AMC, so a lot of the cursing and stuff wasn't there, which makes me
And
mad.
the commercials.
And the commercials.
At least you get potty breaks, I guess.
You get potty breaks, but pausing and going to potty and coming back and hitting
Oh,
pause
because you
is
have
good,
that
too.
kind of TV. You just fast forward through the.
Commercials?
Commercials?
If it's
Yeah.
already recorded.
Oh.
You can't do it on live TV.
Sure you can. You just pause it for 20 minutes and then you get through all the commercials.
Of course. But that gets you through like 2 or 3 commercial breaks, and then you're back to
How
it.
do you know?
And Back to the Future. If I am flipping through the cable channels on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and I see Back to the Future on one of the movie channels, I know that my plans for the day are made.
Oh my God, my brother watched that movie hundreds of thousands
too.
of times as a child.
Me too. As an adult.
The whole series, really.
Great.
I even watched the cartoon when I was a kid.
Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
It's a good movie.
All 3 are good movies.
It's true. I mean, I'm trying to. The second one was awesome because they went to the future.
Bad Future.
Yeah, but in the third one, they go to like the Wild West.
Right,
And it's a
1885.
whole different,
Right.
a whole different scene.
Right. I love it. And the reason why I like 2 the best is because that's the only movie where you have 1955, 2 different 1985s, 2015, and a quick look at 1885 at the end.
You get the more bang for your buck.
Yeah, all the
return.
time.
More year bang for your buck.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I realize that I know so much about Back to the Future. I have this app on my phone. It's like a quiz, trivia quiz kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can play other people from around the world.
Oh, aren't you? Yeah, you're like the top ranking.
I was #1 in the world at Back to the Future. Great Scott.
How do we monetize this skill?
I don't know.
So coming up a little later today, Dre Montez is going to be coming in. And,
Wait, can I
yeah,
just read some of the ones
he
that
just
people
said
wrote
what's
in about?
up, so I just want to shout out to him.
Yeah, Dre, come on in.
Joda's watching too. He'll be here at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So let's see who you got over there.
Okay, I have the movie, people answering the movie question. Vinny Marino said Roadhouse. Vinny Marino's an old radio buddy of mine. What?
Roadhouse is so great that after I watched it, I went online and I found the script. And I wanted to have a party where everyone took a part and we watched the movie and had to try to read the script along with it.
I love that. I would love to do that with a movie that I love. I mean, Roadhouse, I like. Jeff Healey Band is in that, am I right?
I think so. It was.
Guy sitting down playing the guitar? That's Jeff Healey. I
Yeah.
got the right movie, right? Patrick Swayze?
Yes.
Okay. The Jeff Healey Band came out in about 1988. Kid was from Toronto. He was blind, and he had this great blues album. And unfortunately, now he has passed on because what was wrong with his eyes was like a cancer of the eyes.
Oh my God.
And he was really one of my favorites. Anyway, then he liked Roadhouse. And Dave says, yep, him too. Robert Hamilton from New Jersey, Shawshank Redemption,
That's a good one.
Jaws, Godfather, and Fargo. I will admit to you now, because I am an honest guy, I have never seen Fargo.
I don't know if I have either.
I've seen it.
Is that the one about the white dog?
No.
It happens in North Dakota, I guess. Is it North Dakota? Fargo, North Dakota? Or is that South Dakota?
I don't remember.
There's a lot of shotguns. I
I
thought
hear
it was
it's
like
good.
a series.
It is also a series now.
Because I remember kind of watching the series.
The movie came out like what, in the early 90s, give or take?
Probably.
And it had William H. Macy in it and
Steve Buscemi.
yeah.
Stephen Yash from New Jersey, Pulp Fiction and Goodfellas. Michael, this guy's name is Wagon Connect. That's his name. I asked him when I met him, did your parents work at like Lego or something like that, you know?
Karate Kid.
Casablanca, he loves Casablanca.
The original?
I don't think there is a remake.
I hope they never remake that.
Agreed.
Some
Agreed.
movies just don't need to be remade.
Agreed. Mark Nicholson, any Back to the Future? I'm with you, Mark. Chris Kennedy, the Vic Porcelli story. I don't remember that movie. Do you remember that movie?
Next Core
Can't say
Media
I've seen it.
Productions
I'm sure it's
might
fabulous.
have to make that movie.
I'm sure it's absolutely fabulous. Thanks, Chris. Joseph Stewart Smothers said Jaws. Have you guys seen Jaws?
Oh yeah.
I saw Jaws when it was new, in the theater, like a jackass, on vacation at the beach. And early on in the week.
How'd that go? How'd the rest of the
Clearly,
week go?
I did not go in the water
Did
for
you
the
have
rest of
fun
the week.
relaxing in the water?
That movie was so scary. And you know what's great and genius about that movie? You don't actually see the shark till like more than a half an hour into the movie.
Right.
You just hear the music, see people getting pulled under, but you don't actually see the shark for a half an hour, I think, or more.
Was that genius or was that just budget?
Well, they didn't have to pay the shark.
You know what it was? It was budget genius. It was budget genius. You know what?
Sharks are the trash men of the sea, and they don't normally attack humans.
And they're making a comeback this year.
As
There's been shark sightings
as
all
a
over the East
species?
Coast.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, as a species.
The sharks are making a comeback, not Jaws.
Right. I'm sorry. What did you mean?
Well, you said comeback, so I don't know if there was like a Jaws 14 or.
I'm sure there is out there
Oh
somewhere.
my gosh, there's so many of them now.
Sure there is. Let's see. Dan Boyer, my man. I was in My Fair Lady with Dan Boyer. He was Henry Higgins, and I was Colonel Pickering.
We have to have a day where we just talk about all the plays that you've been
Sure.
in.
He likes The Help and Hidden Figures. I've seen neither. I'm sorry.
The Help is pretty good.
Sarah Duberky likes most Disney movies. Who doesn't?
That's my kind of people.
Scotty Stevens likes Forrest Gump. What do you guys think about Forrest Gump?
It was a good story, a lot of quotes.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those really good movies. I kind of hate and love the fact that there's a lot that you have to interpret in it when you get to the ending,
Yeah.
because they
How
don't
did
really
Jenny
say.
die? That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Really sad. Kevin Lafser likes The Godfather, of course. Laurie Jeffries likes Silence of the Lambs.
I watched that movie in bed with my parents when I was like 10.
You have to when you're young. It's funny that over the weekend Carrie was on. Have you ever seen Carrie?
Yeah.
Not the remake, but the original with
Yeah.
Sissy Spacek. We were watching it, and it was like the last 15 minutes. And these kind of movies freak me out. Just completely freak me out. So we watched it, and then my wife says, "We should watch it from the beginning." I said, "No, thank you. I do not want to do that." And then she said to me, "What movie messed you up the most when you watched it?" And I had to say The Omen. Have you ever seen the original movie, The Omen? So I watched that at my friend Sal's house. And then do you remember the dog in The Omen? His eyes
Yeah.
glowed. And then there was one scene when the woman drops like a fish bowl or something, and it falls in slow motion, and it breaks, and the water and the glass go everywhere. So I get home, scared out of my mind, just driving from Sal's house to my house. And I get there, and our dog was at the top of the stairs, and just the way the lights were shining on her, her eyes were like weird and glowing. I was
The
like,
green glow.
"Come here, girl. Is it you, or are you the crazy Omen dog?" And then my mother, in the middle of the night, this never happened in all the time I lived at my parents' house, drops a glass in the bathroom and shatters it.
Oh, what are the odds?
I was like, "I'm moving out.
I'm done.
I'm done."
She did it on purpose. She's like, it's time for him to go.
Mike Chambers, Big Mike, my man Big Mike, picked Rounders,
Rounders. I don't know if it's
poker movie.
Okay, yes.
But I wish I didn't say that now. Because if I told you there was a movie I wanted you to watch, and it had Matt Damon, Edward Norton, Martin Landau, Gretchen Mol, John Turturro, John Malkovich. If I told you all those people were in the movie, would you watch it?
Yeah.
Right? It's about poker. It's a poker movie. And it's the poker Bible movie if you're a poker player. Like when you go to play in a tournament, you go sitting around with 10 guys at your table, everybody's doing Rounders quotes.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Poker movies are like football movies. It's so much more fun to watch when they've been edited and there's music and
Yeah.
they only play the good parts,
Right.
like just the best tackles or the,
Of course,
the full
best
house.
hands. Right. Ace is full. Tina Milloway Masterson likes A Knight's Tale.
Oh,
Not
that's good,
familiar
too.
at all with that.
Oh, it's got Heath Ledger. It's got Alan Tudyk in it. Oh man, what's his name? The guy that played Vision in the Marvel movies. And it's basically this poor guy. Growing up, all he wanted to do was be a knight. So he goes in and he starts doing jousting competitions. Falls in love with the girl.
Maid Marian, yeah.
And the jerk that was actually rich, catches on, and everybody's like, no, I don't care.
Okay. Mary Duello likes Tombstone. Anyone? Tombstone?
Nope.
I've never
haven't
seen
seen
it
it.
either. I will admit to you now, I've never seen it. Tim Cunningham picked way too many movies, but I will go through a few of them. The Great Escape, I believe that's Steve McQueen. The Sting. The Sting?
Haven't
Sting.
seen it.
Paul Newman, Robert Redford. It's about a con, big con. They con this guy out of like $500,000. It's awesome. The Big Lebowski. Gotta love
Classic.
The Big Lebowski. Maltese Falcon. That's a Humphrey Bogart movie, I believe. Major League, Shawshank Redemption. It's a Wonderful Life. Die Hard. Jaws. Meatballs. Gone with the Wind. Claire likes Gone with the Wind. Rob Lowe. Not Rob Lowe. Rob Blow. Guy I know. I did some theater stuff with him. Like Scott Pilgrim. Connie Sanfilippo likes Steel Magnolias. Way too chick flick for me.
My neighbor Tony also says that he likes Steel Magnolias.
Ah.
I don't know if who's in that? Like Julia Roberts?
I don't even know. That's
Is that
how
the
much
one where she
I've
runs
avoided.
away from the wedding?
No, that's Runaway Bride.
Okay.
That would make sense, I guess. So the bride just runs out of the wedding. What should we call it? How about Steel Magnolias? How about Runaway Bride? Much better. Dave likes Caddyshack. Jim Wagner likes My Cousin Vinny. Who doesn't love My Cousin Vinny?
I'm getting so much popping.
Crackling?
Crackle, crackle, pop over here.
Lynn likes all the John Hughes films. Andy Brown likes Airplane. Jim Mitchell, the original Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Die Hard. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
No.
Yes. Absolutely.
It absolutely is.
Entire
No.
Christmas
Bruce
watching-
Willis even said so himself. It is not a Christmas movie. It is a Bruce Willis movie.
But
during Christmas.
it happens on Christmas
Decorations.
Eve.
I sent you that clip.
He is the spirit of Nagasaki or something.
Well, you could take it up with Bruce Willis.
All right.
One Christmas, I spent the entire day in bed watching all of the Die Hard movies.
Wow, Paul says, make this a real challenge and make it what movie you've seen more than 100 times.
Easy.
Gary likes Meatballs,
That's-
Dazed and Confused. Remember the Titans. I forgot that movie. See what I did there? Forgot. The Sandlot and Tombstone. Jackie likes the Blues Brothers, and some like it hot. Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Proposal. Animal House, Mr. Baton. Thanks, Mr. Baton. Mr. Baton was a teacher of mine back in high school. Now, have you guys ever seen or kept in touch with anyone that was a teacher of yours?
For a while.
Do you call them Mr. or Mrs. or Miss?
Yeah.
How do you not, right?
That's his name.
Mr. Baton will always be Mr. Baton. I can't call him Pat. That would be like disrespectful.
Right.
You
At
know?
what point do you switch from the Mr.
I never have.
to the? It would be awkward.
It would be awkward.
Like,
So I
you
just
have
call him Mr. Baton. I even call my kids' teachers, like Miss Valenza was my kids, two of my kids' third grade teacher. And when she says stuff on Facebook, I say, thanks, Miss Valenza.
Well, kids' teachers these days are going by Mrs. and their first name.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Like they used, when I was a counselor, they would call me Miss Jen.
Michael likes Smokey and the Bandit. You guys like Smokey and the Bandit? Burt Reynolds, Jackie Gleason.
You can't go wrong with Burt Reynolds.
I was working at a movie theater when that was new. So I had literally seen it hundreds of times just in the theater while it was still in theaters. And Kentucky Fried Movie, too. Have you
They
guys
got
seen
paid
Kentucky
for it.
Fried Movie?
I have
No.
not seen.
Not only not pay for it, get paid to watch it 100
Right.
times. Kentucky Fried Movie is hysterical. Karen Allen likes California with a K with Brad Pitt and Juliette Lewis.
That was a crazy movie.
Was it?
Yes.
Patricia likes While You Were Sleeping, Sound of Music, It's a Wonderful Life. Boy, she likes that old stuff. Mary Lou Armando, I graduated high school with her, likes Goodfellas. Everybody from Jersey likes Goodfellas with The Godfather.
Is that
knows
where
them.
it took place?
Terms of Endearment, Forrest Gump, and The Devil Wears Prada and Juno. Maryland, 2 picks for Casablanca today. Mike likes Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. Oh, he's a Quentin Tarantino fan. Big Lebowski, Goodfellas, Casino. Oh, Casino's good. Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. Godfathers 1 and 2, because 3's crap. Stripes, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Robert Rozak, here we go. This one's going to be weird. Papillon, No Country for Old Men, Fargo, Full Metal Jacket, Slapshot, Blazing Saddles, without the PC warning. Have you heard that? On Netflix now, if you watch Blazing Saddle on Netflix, there's this warning that comes up about the language and stuff in it.
Wow.
Is that necessary?
I guess they had to do something, otherwise they were going to get kicked off altogether.
Whatever. Bronx Tale. Did you ever see a Bronx Tale?
I have not.
Bronx Tale's awesome. Shawshank Redemption. Gotta love that. Titanic. Sorry, guys. I'm just running through some of these. Secondhand Lions. Our friend Joy picked that one. Gina Michelle picked Goodfellas. I believe she's from New Jersey, so that makes total sense.
I'll tell you what, these watch parties,
Are they good?
I mean, we're getting so much more interaction.
Great.
At least on my end. Because when I just go live, nobody cares. But I just went live on a watch party and I got
Star is Born with
I got
Bradley
3
Cooper.
views.
That's good.
What's up,
Roadhouse
Joey?
again,
So,
and any John Wayne movie, African Queen, and Independence Day. Okay, so there you go. So the reason we bring this up, the movie thing, is because movie theaters are reopening,
oh, that's right.
which I think is fantastic, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you like the movies?
It's a long time for me to sit still and not be working.
Movies? Going to the movies?
Only really for date night.
Yeah. My
We're
wife
lazy.
absolutely hates going to the movies. I think in all the time we've been together, we've seen 4 movies.
It's,
One of them was Meet the Parents.
yeah.
I'll never forget that because I remember how hard she was laughing during that. And then recently we saw Into the Woods when that came out on Christmas Day, and that was a big disappointment.
As a movie.
What?
They made a movie out of that play.
And it's
Yeah.
so disappointing.
It's not good.
It's terrible.
I couldn't watch it.
I'm not surprised.
Disney had to clean it up. Not that it needed to be cleaned up. Like, I was in that twice, and I was the narrator, and you introduce all the characters, you know, Cinderella, and then you get to Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and you said, and his mother, well, she's not quite beautiful. And this ugly old woman comes out. They took that line completely out of it because we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And then we had to see Bohemian Rhapsody, of course. We saw that first weekend. And the Elton John movie, whatever that was called, Rocket Man.
I haven't seen that one yet. I need to.
Do you get popcorn?
We don't usually get popcorn because my husband can't eat popcorn.
How about Raisinets?
I am more of a Milk Duds person.
Milk Duds.
And I can't help myself but do the Gremlins voice every time.
It's funny that you said that because, okay, let's hear it.
Oh man, I can't do it right now.
Okay.
It has to come naturally.
I say Raisinets the way I say it because of Blazing Saddles. When Hedley Lamar walks into the theater and goes, Raisinets! So Jen sent me a couple of trailers. One, I got to tell you, Jen, I'm sorry if I'm hurting your feelings or anyone's feelings, but it's a new Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
It's a horrible idea.
I couldn't care less about a movie than I do about the upcoming Bill and Ted's Adventure. And I'm sorry to be saying this to people, and I'm sorry if I'm hurting your feelings, but I just don't care. Bill and Ted Face the Music. And Jen sends me a note last night, and she goes, look how old they look.
It's ridiculous. They're way too old to be back in the studio as Bill and Ted. Like, they've done so much. Okay, I don't know if the blonde kid has done anything else, but Keanu Reeves has gone on to do The Matrix and all of the Keanu Reeves movies that are semi-okay.
The one on the bus?
Yeah, Speed.
Speed.
1, 2, and 3, maybe.
Speed 1, 2, and
I
3?
think
He was only in the first one, I think.
Okay. Then,
Sandra Bullock kind of carried that.
Of course she did.
Yeah, so just, I don't know.
I thought Speed, the first one, was great.
I just
Great
thought
concept.
it was really, really a funny movie to resurrect and try to redo.
Well, here it comes. Bill and Ted Face the Music. It's in theaters on August 28th, so go enjoy that if you're into the Bill and Ted thing. And then Jen sent me a note. Oh, we're going to watch that. Are we going to watch the trailer?
No,
I don't want to watch the trailer.
I know you don't. Where's the,
She also sent me
this one looks good.
The War with Grandpa. And the basic plot behind The War with Grandpa, Robert De Niro's in it. And he plays a grandpa who's losing it. And they want to send him to an old folks home, and he refuses. So he goes to live with his daughter, and they give him his grandson's bedroom.
Yeah, and they have all kinds of beef.
And the grandson will not have it, so they fight about it looks a little stupid, honestly, but it looks like it's
But
fun.
Christopher Walken is in it,
And Christopher
That makes it worth
Walken
it.
is in it, which makes it perfect.
which is always good.
Who doesn't love Christopher Walken?
He's got a, where's it at? I don't know if we want to actually
Okay.
play this whole trailer.
No, we
but
don't.
I would like to check in with Joda from Temple of the Dog.
Hold on, let's stay on the movies for a minute.
Okay.
AMC theaters you can go to see a movie with AMC, I believe, for like $1.50 or something like that. They're like bringing prices way down for the big grand opening of movie theaters. So
Oh, I was vaguely reading about this. They're
Just-
also bringing back some like old flicks,
nothing wrong
like
with that.
classic movies that are really cheap.
Like Casablanca and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is cool. So if you do want to get out of the house, and I guess they're gonna have every other seat blocked off, or
Is that 6 feet though?
I mean, is it every third seat?
Can't we just sit next to each other and put a mask on or something?
Maybe.
Well, I think they're doing blocks of seats because obviously if you're
A
like
group.
we're able to quarantine with somebody, you can like if you're in family, you can sit next to each other.
Right.
So I think they're doing like 2 seats, like kind of like how bars and restaurants are doing, where every so often they're taking out tables
Yeah,
and
yeah,
marking them
yeah.
off and stuff.
But I think that's neat. And if they're going to play the old movies, they should go ahead and play a Bugs Bunny short before it, right?
That would be good.
You know, the Bugs Bunny cartoons were not made for kids at all.
No.
Question?
No, I was. Were they initially made for the beginning of movies?
Yes. There was no TV back then,
Right.
you know? So they made these 8-minute shorts to play before the black and white movie, you know? When you went to the movies in 1940, the first thing they showed you was a newsreel. Our boys are fighting the Japanese back in Iwo Jima and the Germans at D-Day. And then that would be about 2 or 3 minutes. And then they'd show this Bugs Bunny cartoon. And, I'm sorry, Warner Brothers Looney Tunes. It's not always Bugs Bunny, but Bugs Bunny's everybody's favorite. And there were movies that, there were Bugs Bunny cartoons. When I watched them as a kid, I didn't understand because they weren't made for kids. Take, for example, the Looney Tunes short called A Hair Grows in Manhattan, which is when Bugs Bunny's a city rabbit and he's got the hat on. She's the daughter of Rosie O'Grady, a regular old-fashioned girl. And then there's a bunch of dogs that chase him throughout the entire short. So they chase Bugs Bunny into an alley, and he looks for the first thing he can find to defend himself. And he picks up a book, and he's going to hit them with the book, and the book is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And all the dogs run across the Brooklyn Bridge to Brooklyn. And when I was little, I was like, I don't get it. But they all went to pee on the tree because there was trees in Brooklyn. See what I'm saying? We didn't get that when we were little, you know? And the concept of a guy being a wolf came from that, but when they would, you know what I'm talking about?
No. What guy was a wolf? That just makes me think of the Three Little Pigs.
No. A guy who is after the women
Oh, okay.
is known as a wolf,
Sure.
you know?
Or a dog.
Well, more of a wolf. And I'll explain, we're getting back into the woods for a second on that. But in the Warner Brothers cartoons, the wolf would have a zoot suit on, the big hat and the big zoot suit, and, you know, make
He's
a
a
chain
cool cat
and say,
for-
how old is she? The wolf would go. I mean, that's not for kids, you know?
No.
That was in the movies.
at all.
So Into the Woods, Jen,
Yes.
you've seen it.
I've seen the play. Live as a play.
Perfect. So there's the prince, Cinderella's prince, right?
Yes.
In the original Broadway cast, and if you do the show right, the same person has to play the prince that plays the wolf. Because he's a wolf, because he has a thing with the baker's wife. Do you remember that?
Those are a lot of details of the drama that I don't.
Where did you see it?
It was at the, I think it was at the WashU Mellencrot Theater.
Wow, I saw it at WashU too.
Yeah, it's a cool.
It's a
like
great-
kind of in the roundish almost.
Oh, no, so I didn't see it there.
Maybe not, but I don't know.
I thought they did a great
There's
job.
Balcony.
But the beauty about Into the Woods is usually the same person that plays the narrator plays the mysterious man because they both know the story. The narrator tells the story, and the whole story is the fault of the mysterious man because he steals the witch's beans. And that starts the whole thing. So that's why the same actor plays that. And then the same actor should always play Cinderella's prince and the wolf in Hello, Little Girl, What's Your Rush? You're missing all the flowers. Remember that song? The sun won't set for hours. Take your time. Okay. That's all the singing I will be doing in this program.
I challenge
Based
that.
on the
I think we can make you sing more.
Reactions of my partners. So is that it? Are we done with movies? I'm happy that movies theaters are getting back. We need to get back to real life. I can't take it anymore, okay? I if I'm going a quick trip, I put the mask on. After I forget the mask, walk to the front door and go, oh God, and then
I
walk
do
back
that
to the
a
car.
lot. I do that a lot.
But I'm wearing the mask like I'm supposed to. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to get back to normal. Don't tell me this is the new normal. Don't tell me that. Don't tell.
It's not. It's everything's gonna be fine.
All right. Is Rex okay?
I haven't gotten a single notification.
All right, then he's being good. Well, what more can we ask?
Of course, the only time he's good is when we need him.
I know.
Before we get to Joda, is that true? He was tearing up a unicorn last time we checked on him.
Yeah, but the last couple times it's...
You're right. He's just been laying around.
He's just doing
In
nothing.
his
Lounging.
defense, that was not a unicorn. That was a chair.
Oh,
It was
excuse
his
me.
chair.
And it was
In his
chair.
defense.
And I found it in the alley.
In his defense, it wasn't a worthless stuffed unicorn. It was just a chair.
Don't talk about the unicorn like that.
Before we get to Joda, I just want to... We're doing Joda, right?
Yes.
Okay, before we get there, I just want to say that over the weekend, it was 130 degrees
Oh my God, not
in
really.
Death Valley, California. 130 degrees. Apparently, the highest temperature it's been on the planet since 1913. Jen asked me, does anybody live there?
Right? You said.
I checked it out. 524 people. I'm just kidding.
23 now.
Right. 500 people live in Death Valley. 130 degrees, the warmest it's ever been on this planet in
Since-
over a century.
Since 1913.
Which reminds me of a story about 10 years ago when it was so cold here in St. Louis. It was like zero. It was one of those cold snaps, 0 degrees, like 5-6 days in a row. And it was so cold. And I said, you know what? Let's check. Let's go to Google or whatever weather and see where the coldest temperature is in the United States. And it was this tiny town in Minnesota where the temperature, not the wind chill, but the temperature was 37 degrees below zero. So I said, just for kicks, let's check the rover on Mars and see what the temperature is on Mars. It was minus 32.
Oh.
So it was warmer on Mars than it
Degrees?
was
Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Fahrenheit
On Mars.
on Mars.
I thought, wait, is Mars not hot?
It's one away from the sun from us.
Okay.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
Dre is here. Hopefully someone's gonna let him in.
Are we going to do Joda, then we'll get to Dre?
I think let's play the interview that we got with Joda
Okay.
about Temple of the Dogs.
We'll go get
and
Dre.
their product known as Butt Bowls. And while we talk to Dre and get all swapped out and set up, we're gonna give
Perfect.
us a few minutes.
Perfect.
So we'll be right back.
So Joda's from Nona's Mutt Balls and Tempo of the Dog. The Mutt Balls are delicious, nutritious treats for your dog. And Tempo of the Dog is a great foster and rescue organization that are finding forever homes for dogs in St. Louis.
Also, we caught Vic on the Snapchat just ever so quickly in this video. So
Oh, no.
don't look away.
Oh, no.
We've talked many times about Nona's Mutt Balls and Tempo of the Dog Rescue and Fostering. And Joda is with us. Joda, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Great to have you on again. Take one thing at a time. And since you got your hands full with puppies, let's talk about Tempo of the Dog first. And tell us a little bit again about Penny Lane, would you?
Well, Penny Lane was my foster before. I was a mother. I got pregnant off of death row in Tennessee. Unfortunately, with breeds, a lot of times they deal with it by simply euthanizing before the babies are born.
Right.
So I just couldn't let that happen. I brought her into my home. She had 7 babies. That kind of started my whole mommy and babies thing. All of her babies got fabulous homes. She came down. She had heartworms. We treated her with heartworms for her medicine. Unfortunately, the stress of treatment uncovered some health issues, and she ended up with a very rare pituitary cancer.
Oh, no.
That took her, let's see, the day before I took in these babies. So she's been gone from me now for 8 weeks. But she's with me every day. I planted a garden for her, and I love everybody in honor of her. Come here, Mercy, come here. Let's see if you can see Mom. No, probably not. She's playing with puppies right now herself. So,
She's got mother.
so Mercy came to me the next day, and this is now the puppies you saw originally, but now they're about 11 pounds and ready for adoption.
So that was about a month ago we spoke. How
Yeah.
they weighed significantly less back then.
Oh yeah, I think I could hold 3 at once with no problem then. Now it's definitely a struggle. Say hi, this is actually Molly Hatchet in the picture with me now. So say hi, Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Molly Hatchet.
Working with the
Eventually I'll
grandkids.
get Van Zant close enough to me to grab to and he'll jump in, but. Can you say hi? Nope, they're running and playing. He's playing with mom. So as soon as they get close enough, I'll do a switch.
So we've been talking about you a lot, I guess. I guess your ears have been ringing, right?
Well, you know, I'm blessed. I've gotten I've gotten a lot of support. I've gotten some people reaching out, more food. I'm making more food for dogs. This, you know, they're handmade products for soft food for dogs. I've got a couple of dogs with kidney issues that I've taken over. So, you know, I'm trying. I try to do my best in the rescue world. Storms bring some challenges. People don't realize the adrenaline in a dog when they're scared. So when the storms hit, dogs jump fences they're not known to jump, and the wind blows open fences. And so
Some dogs are just not affected by thunder or anything, and some are. I mean, we have 3 dogs. 2 of them could care less about the storm or the fireworks, and our little one, the Chihuahua, just completely loses it.
I'm like that too, but yeah, I have 3. Well, if you count Mercy, I still count her as mine, even though she's a foster. I have 2 of them are fine. One, my Boxador, he just is terrified, and it took me weeks to get him out of the closet after the 4th of July.
How many do
So a
you still have online
thunderstorm
with
starts and he panics.
you? Do you still have
This is Van
online
Zandt, if you can see him now. This was one of the ones that was in with me last time we visited. Can you say hi, Van Zandt? Say hi.
Let's
So
try
yeah,
something.
Mercy will come up too. Pardon me?
I'm sorry. Come over here.
Oh, I'm going to go over there.
Talk to her on this one. That way we can. Sorry, we're still trying to figure this out. I'm not used to Zooming when you're in the same room.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Mercy.
We're going to call somebody for you to talk to.
Mercy, come.
Good, perfect. All right.
Okay.
Is there a place to plug this into this?
Yeah.
Hey, Mercy. Look, there's Mom.
All right, all right.
Say hi, Mercy.
Hi, Mercy.
Mercy.
So do you still have all 9, Joda?
Yes, yes. Actually, everybody, I will sleep this Sunday night. Everybody is going to 3 different foster homes this Sunday. They split up at this point into groups of 3 so they can still teach each other proper socialization. And they will be with those new prospective fosters for, I believe, 2 weeks.
Right.
And then they go to their new adoptive homes.
So I hate to ask this, but how do you pick which ones go with which? I mean, are you watching them to see which ones kind of bond with which other dogs, or you just say, okay, you 3, you 3, you 3?
Well, I mean, I watch personalities, and I'm grateful that Lori, the big wig, the director over there at Tempo, who makes the hard decisions, she listens to what we have to say and values our input with them. I have a couple that are actually kind of shy. Then my 3 Brendel babies, they're like, let's go. They're crazy. So,
Right.
you know, we're thinking we'll probably keep the Brendels together so they can actually wrestle with each other and be okay. So it all really just depends on the foster, how experienced they think they are. You know, she's actually, like I said, her and Kaylee, they run that boat over there. I'm glad that I'm just the part that gives the home and the love, because those are some hard decisions to make on who goes to who, definitely.
Absolutely. So is the mission to get these dogs adopted in 3s, or is that, I know that's a tall order.
No. At Tempo, we actually, so you can get multiple dogs from us at Tempo. However, we prefer that they are from different litters.
Why is that? Now, I've heard that before. Why is that?
So, I mean, I don't know if you have siblings, but I do, and man, we scrap. So it's just, I think, a brother and sister thing, a sibling thing, you know, and you, I think, are more likely to fight with siblings. So we try to make sure when these dogs get bigger, some of them can end up sizable. You can actually end up hurting each other. I've seen that firsthand. I had a couple of sisters that at one point fought for dominance years back, about 10 years. And one was totally chill and she wasn't interested in fighting. And the other one was just, you know, a dominant girl. And one day it just went on, and it ended up a pretty bad fight to get in the middle of. Both ended up walking away okay. I ended up walking to the hospital, and I learned a lesson there. So, you know, they just integrate better with different litters. And so we try to mix and match and not set out into, not set out into.
Behave over there. You got to do like the teachers did at school. You settle down. So is it different, Joe, did you even know, for dogs and cats? Because we have 2 cats that are siblings, and they seem to get along okay, so it must be a different deal, right?
You know, be nice. Mom's correcting him over here, but a little harshly. You know, I think that's actually really hard to say. Well, no. So if I look at my sister's cats, she's got siblings. If I look at people who have siblings, they usually do well. They grow up together differently. If you give them their own spaces with cats, you know, it's usually 1 litter box per cat plus an extra. So if you give them a good space, they get along fine. I have cats, but all mine are ferals that have, you know, been on the road for a long time. And then one after another, I slowly acquired them. And I wasn't
hard
really
to break, aren't they? The feral cats?
Yeah. Well, I don't say that they're hard to break. I mean, I guess it just kind of depends on if you talk cat, if you know how to approach them. I think with any living creature that breathes and has a heartbeat, if you approach them with love, they're going to respond. So none of my cats, I mean, all my ferals gladly walked into the house.
That's great.
And stay with me. They see the insanity of, you know, okay, animals, but they trust me. So,
right.
You know.
So the ultimate goal, then
just
getting back to your 9 puppies, the ultimate goal is to have 9 different people adopt the 9 different puppies.
Yes. And if they want to get more puppies, you know, I believe we covered before, we rescue multiple mothers at once. I think we had 5 mothers that came in this batch when I got Mercy. So they all went to different foster homes, and we've gotten them to this point. So Tempo of the dog really is looking for some good homes for some puppies, not just my litter, but several litters.
Right. So do you have more puppies in the pipeline coming that you know about, or are you just these are your 9 for now, and then we'll deal with that later?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm an intuitive person. I listen to when, you know, my spirit is moved. I see something in the eyes. And that's who, when I hear move is when I move. I try not to jump on everything I want to, because usually that's me talking and not in the right of the moment. So, right. You know, I try to take a step back and listen for the proper time to move. And if, you know, everybody who knows me, my house is always open. I rescue and release squirrels. I have had cats. I have had rabbits. I've had snakes. You know, whatever needs me at the time, I'll jump to. So if there's a mama that comes to me in the same way and she needs me, and there's little souls that depend on a home, yeah, I'll open the door. At this very minute, I'm like, heck no, I'm never doing this again in my life. But
right.
The reality of it is tomorrow I'll say, okay, if need me.
Right. So you obviously have a bond with these dogs. How do you deal with the separation issues? Like, you've had 9 puppies now for at least a month, like I'm sure 2 months or more. And how do you deal with separation? Like, you're never going to see this puppy ever again.
You know, so a little from my background is I was a foster child for a while. And I knew that without the help of those women stepping in my village, taking care of me and passing me on to the next phase of my life, I wouldn't have made it. That has to be the same for me in the animal world as I look at it. People ask me that all the time. If I stop and I just keep them, I don't have room to help anybody else. Right. I am one person. I have a small place. I can only help so many at a time. And I don't ever want to close that door. I think it definitely takes a village in all aspects of living creatures' lives to move them from one phase to another to help the next. So that's just what I try to do. I try to think of my foster moms, and even though they aren't human, they're still fur babies. They're still babies that need help right now, and that I can do.
So do people stay in touch with you? I only ask because years ago, we had a dog named Phoebe. Phoebe is no longer with us anymore, but she was one of about 5 or 6 in the litter. And the biggest one in the litter, of course, was named Goliath because he was really big. And the guy who took Goliath and I were friends on Facebook, as it turns out, you know. And he would send me pictures of Goliath, and I'd send him pictures of Phoebe, you know. And Phoebe had some she had some tumors and things, and it was, you know, I mean, she lived a great life, you know, but she had some tumors, and that took her from us. And Goliath died actually shortly after. But
I'm sorry.
it was cool to see, you know, to keep in touch with somebody that was Phoebe's brother. You know, it was kind of neat.
I was really blessed. I had Penny Lane was an amazing dog, not just in life and in spirit. A lot of people followed her plight with me. She had a lot of fans and followers, and sorry,
I know.
a lot
no,
of
I know.
tears were shed when she left us. But even in leaving us, you know, out at MU, she at Columbia, she taught the veterinarian staff, the oncology staff, some amazing things that they had not seen in the St. Louis region.
Right.
When she passed, like I said, the outpouring was amazing. Her children's family, the adopted families, I got a lot of amazing pictures. I'm blessed that two people that adopted Jude and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, they went to people I know, so we're real close. And
So you hate the Beatles. You just hate the Beatles, right? Am I right?
I'm not in charge of naming them.
Oh,
I
okay,
actually,
okay.
honestly, this I don't know most of the names of this litter I have now. They're Southern rock. I kind of grew up in something a little bit different, and I listen to Christian music now. So
We were looking at some of the pictures the other day. You got a Leonard Skinnard, and you got a whole bunch of great Southern rock names for those dogs.
yeah, we got Molly Hatchett's in here, and yeah, so yeah, that's definitely Lori's that's Lori's area. So
Right.
I just love them, and she let me keep Mercy's name just because she was the first I named her. She didn't really fit into that genre, but it fits her. So we're just keeping her Mercy.
Right. That's okay. That's great. So now these 9 puppies, they'll be fostered out 3 at a time, and then is that it? Do they come back, or is this the last you'll see of them?
No, they're going to go to fosters for 3 to 3 each in each group. This Sunday they leave me, and they will be with those fosters, the 3 groups, for 2 weeks. And then they'll start, as we're working through applications and stuff, in 2 weeks, then they'll be okay to be fully independent of everybody and go into their own homes.
Okay. And then another litter will come by, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. I mean, you know, unfortunately, that's how it is, especially with the bully breed. So that's what we specialize in at Tempo. You know, I love Tempo. They're the little engine that could, man. They're not a big rescue, but mighty works are done through those few hands.
Well, guess
to
what?
save mothers in the Missouri area and surrounding states. So
Guess
I'm
what?
great
We're
to
behind
honor
you.
them.
We're behind you. We're going to help you,
Thank
and we're going to let people know about it for sure. Tempo of the Dog is what it is, and you can find their Facebook page. Just go to the search bar and type in Tempo of the Dog, and you'll see Joda, and you'll see all the great puppies that are up there. And you've got some other puppies not from that litter up on the page too, which I think is great.
Yes.
All right,
Well,
so-
as each week passes, you'll see more and more puppies up. Everybody's getting ready to come up for adoption.
Right. Now, did you find that a lot of people are adopting because of COVID? Like they're home, they're alone, they want some company, so they adopt a dog. Are you finding a lot of adoptions during this crazy time?
I think so. Definitely numbers have been up. Our adoption applications have been up. We have a great program at Tempo, and that's our adoption, our foster to adopt program.
Mhm.
And that gives people a chance to actually foster for a moment and make sure that, you know, this is a good fit for them. So,
Right.
you know, I love that program. We're not just saying, here's your puppy, we're walking away. We're giving people a chance to actually learn and see if this is a little spirit they can grow with. So it's pretty cool.
All right, Tempo of the Dog. Look them up on Facebook. Now let's talk a little bit about Nona's Mutt Balls, because there's so many things I love about Nona's Mutt Balls. First of all, they're nutritious, and they're not one size fits all, because dogs are not one size fits all.
Right, definitely. And I've actually come up with a couple new things that I've been making, and it's been working. I had one of my very first clients went from treats to now he's doing soft food with me. He got real sick for a moment, and he was having some problems walking. He had a back injury. So his mom called me, and I whipped together what I now call Buster Butter. And it's a mix of nut butters, and it has some salmon fillets in there, some beef livers. I grind it up real nice, add some CBDs in there. I put some turmeric in there, black pepper, make some nice healthy stuff for him. And basically she was able to, you know, I made it to the consistency of peanut butter. So
Yes,
again,
I
I
saw.
didn't dare me Buster Butter. He was walking the next morning. She called me crying and said, "You saved him," and I was like, "I didn't save him. I just helped with his pain." So
Right.
learning more through Buster. Buster has bad kidneys, so I have, you know,
Oh.
kind of been fine tuning soft food for him, the things that help his kidneys and are easy for his kidneys and his body to process in food. So I've taken, you know, learning a lot about the physiology of the canine nutrition and what needs to happen there, so I can properly provide for my fur clients. So it's pretty good. So my cats, I've made up something that's called, that I'm calling in the house kitty cream, and that's pretty much a salmon mousse with some healthy ingredients in there that they need, some extra nutrition, some extra amino acids, good stuff for them,
Great.
kitty cats as well. They just sap that up. So,
Yep.
you know, I just work on what works for them.
That's great. We were looking at some pictures on the site the other day, Jen and I, and we noticed that the peanut butter you use is Jif, which is my favorite peanut butter.
Well, I try to use I try to go with their natural brand. They have a natural brand that has nothing in it. When I'm using peanut butter, I primarily moving over to making all my own nut butters. Nut butters are good for dogs too. I'm making up nut butters with walnuts, almonds, and making my own mix here, so that there is some more nutrition in there than the peanut butter. So, but my dogs are loving me filling the Kongs with it.
Sure.
So,
Now, I got to tell you, I do not see a lot of dog or cat treat products out there that are more specific to the actual breed, the actual dog. I mean, you know, you go and you get milk bones. Every milk bone's the same milk bone, but yours is so specialized. And I think more people need to know that, because their dogs are getting nutritious treats that are good for their dog.
right. Well, you know, I mean, in every dog, just like every person is different. We have different nutrition needs. I have a boxador that can't process poultry. So most of the things that are in raw hides, in milk bones, there's a chicken or a poultry byproduct in there that my dog just can't tolerate. So, you know, I try to work with the things that are rare. Like I said, I work with the beef hearts, the beef livers. I've got a beef, I'll use an eye of round beef. I always use whole salmon fillets. I always try to use whole products that I can get in there, and the less fillers, the better. I try to work with the quinoa. Now, if you have a dog that is having problems with weight, yeah, I will definitely, I mean, I always say I stay away from grains. However, brown rice is a really good thing for your dog if you have a dog that's having problems keeping on weight. So again, everything is kind of really specific to what your dog needs. The dogs have allergies, dogs have preferences. So, you know, you could have a picky dog, and it might take me 2 or 3 times to figure out what exactly the formulate he likes. But I will do that, and we'll keep going on until your dog is happy.
I think more people need to know that. And, you know, if you want to find out more about Nona's Mutt Balls, just go to their Facebook page. You can find out more. You know, you see sometimes on pet food products, they'll come up with a new formula, and it'll say new, better tasting, you know? And I'm like, how do you know it's better tasting, the dog food, you know? But you have proof that your mutt balls are better tasting, because they will go to the mutt balls before a plate of bacon.
Yeah, that was beautiful testimony. But that's, yeah, exactly kind of how it goes. My Buster, Mary will call me because she's like, you need to bring over more. He's barking at the refrigerator. He'll be out today. So, you know, I'll make him up fresh. He'll get a big old fresh hot, you know, plate of food delivered to his house, still warm.
That's
and
great.
You know, I have the dogs that they call me up and say, really, they're barking at the food. My neighbor, I gave her some samples the other day, and she was like, wow, my dog eats nothing, and it's gobbling these treats up. So
Right.
I gave her a sample of some soft food and said, okay, well, let's continue in this nutrition with us. I mean, just like us, natural foods, whole foods are better for us. Same things with our dogs. There's no reason for the food to be cooked, dried, dehydrated, re-dehydrated down into hard kibble. You know, my dogs maybe get 50% of the kibble, if that. The rest is supplemented on whole foods.
That's great. Absolutely great. Nona's Mutt Balls. That's Nona with 3 N's, just not together. Nonna. Nona's Mutt Balls on Facebook. You can look them up, check out their page. And also, please go to Tempo of the Dog on Facebook as well, and let's get these homes. Let's get these dogs some homes. All right, so Joda, I love the relationship we have here with everything we're doing at Porcelli's Deli at NextCore, and we support you. You know we support you, and this isn't the last time we'll talk. Obviously, we'll talk again soon. Okay.
I sure hope so. You all have a great day. Thank you so very much for having us.
You bet, Joda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a second. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
So don't forget Joda's Nona's Mutt Balls and Tempo of the Dog. You can find both of those pages on Facebook. Okay. This is Porcelli's Deli. I'm Vic Porcelli. Jen's over there, of course. And our special guest today, Dre Montez,
Hey.
who is actually a podcast professional,
I wouldn't say that.
to come and teach us a thing or two.
He's getting paid, and I believe the definition of professional.
And we're not. So there you go.
This is why we're together.
Good to meet you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir. It's a
yeah.
pleasure. Great
So-
radio minds think alike.
Tell me about you.
What do you want to know?
I want to know how long you've been podcasting.
I've been podcasting for 3 years, coming up on year 4 now.
And what's the name of the show?
Who's to blame?
Who's to blame? So let me ask you, who's to blame?
That goes a long list.
I
Vic.
got it.
I get out there. I mean, from baseball to NFL to the NBA. I dabble a little bit in hockey and in NASCAR and all that, but there's a lot when it comes up to the phrase "who's to blame." Because on Mondays I really go off.
Is that especially now because of COVID?
A little
Or
bit
has it
more.
always been who's to blame?
It's always been who's
Okay.
to blame. Always been who's to blame.
So who's to blame in baseball? Because I got to tell you, the NBA and the NHL are doing something right. They've had
The
no
bubble.
positive
They got the
cases
bubble.
because they got the bubble.
They got the bubble.
Baseball's
but
not doing that.
They're not doing it
But
at
they're
all.
playing at least.
If you want to say that, if you want to say they're playing, they're giving the effort. They're putting in the effort, and I appreciate that. But it's like the person that doesn't go to the doctor that listens to their friend. That's what's going on to me in baseball. They're listening to the wrong people. Nobody's listening to the actual medical official
Which says what?
that says they're hard-headed. Don't play outside of the bubble. Keep it in the bubble.
Right.
So
How can you do baseball in the bubble, though?
hockey figured it out.
I
NBA
guess they
figured it
did.
out.
Well, the NBA, it seems to me like you got that ESPN place down there in Florida, and I'm sure they have 4 or 5 games a day in that bubble, right?
Yes. And it,
So you can't do that in baseball.
I think it could be a way done if Rob Manfred would listen to the powers that be outside of the players and Major League Baseball Players Association, but just go with actual science here. Let's figure this out. We just rented 19 cars to go to Chicago. That should tell you that there's something wrong.
Right.
Nobody's listening. As much as I love sports, I want them to listen. And right now, they're not listening at all.
You know, I used to be the biggest sports fan in the world. And growing up, my parents got me a subscription to Sport Magazine and Sports Illustrated. And I used to take the full-page pictures of athletes and put them on my wall.
Me too.
Dre, when I tell you, every wall was covered with sports pictures. And when I left the house, my father never bothered to take them down. He just paneled over it. So whoever bought the house took down the paneling and goes, "What is this?"
Did you have the Farrah Fawcett picture? Yes or no?
I did.
Okay, there
I
you
did.
go. We got to get that in here.
But I also had, like the famous pictures, like Babe Ruth with that. You remember how when the Babe used to swing and the bat was straight up in the
Yes.
air and he'd watch the ball soar? Because Babe Ruth, I'm sure you know this, but this is for the audience. Babe Ruth transcended baseball to the point where things he did became part of the natural lexicon, like the phrase "out of left field." That's out of left field. That happened because when you were a kid in the 1920s, you wanted to sit in the right field bleachers because that's where Babe hit all his home runs.
That is.
So if you were in left field, you were out in left field.
He told Roger Maris to stay away from there. That's mine. Babe Ruth was probably the first fat guy to do it.
You know,
And to drink that way. That man did some things in sports that nobody could. Well, there are some guys out there doing it now, but Babe did it at a level that nobody thought somebody should be doing it.
right. I
mean,
remember when Barry Bonds was having the steroid problem, somebody had a sign at one of his games that said Babe Ruth did it on beer and hot dogs. Right? He didn't need steroids. He just needed beer and hot dogs and a cigar.
Oh, that dude Babe Ruth was something else. Barry Bonds was an asshole.
Well, I assume he was. I'm not going to say anything because I never met him.
I interviewed him one time.
I'll tell you one thing. baseball, football, hockey, basketball, the coolest guys play hockey. The guys who do things for the community, the guys who you meet and they will talk to you, because baseball guys are not the greatest guys in the world. Now, maybe back then they were.
I have a different opinion on that right
Let's
there.
hear it.
I like it. I think baseball guys are the most athletic. They can play every sport.
No, I get that. But I mean,
But-
just meeting them.
Baseball players are pretty cool. They're actually really, really nice guys. Even the hometown guys. And driving golf carts the past 15 years during Cardinal games, I got to know some of the players. And as a kid, I used to shine shoes at Busch Stadium.
Oh, wow.
So I got to know a lot of them. One of my favorite players, he passed away, Daryl Porter. That was my man. Him and Mike Ramsey were my dudes.
Right.
I mean, they were really damn cool. And George Hendrick and Tito Landrum back in those days.
Tito Landrum.
Yeah,
Wow.
with the fro. He had the fro.
85.
There it is.
Right?
Yeah.
Subway, not Subway Series, 70 Series.
Yeah.
But when my son was young, I was working at the river, and I made a friend who worked at the Cardinals, and he said, hey, if you want to come down, come on the field during batting practice, just let me know, pick a day.
Right.
I said, okay, well, let's pick a day. And we're standing on the field, right? Batting practice going. I bought my son a baseball and a pen, to get an autograph. And Jack Buck is 10 feet away from us.
That voice.
And I said to Chris, Chris, that's Jack Buck. Go ask him for an autograph. And my son will talk to a homeless guy on the street or the President of the United States. He doesn't care. He's always been very gregarious and will talk to anybody. Hey, Mr. Buck, can I get your autograph? And Jack Buck goes, why, sure, son. What's your name? Chris, you play ball? What position do you play? He talked to my son for 20 minutes, Mark McGuire walked right by him and wouldn't even stop
Now,
and
he's
say
a
hello.
different type of dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was different. 'Cause
Now, Willie McGee, my son had a McGee shirt on. He had 51 McGee on the back, and we got to sit in the dugout, right? And who comes in? Willie McGee. And I said, Chris, show him your shirt. So Chris, and Willie's like, no, you didn't do it. Tony, you didn't do it. I gave Chris a hug. So some of them I'm sure are cool.
Yeah.
And some of them are not. And McGuire was just not a good guy.
Like the hockey guys, they really came out when the Blues won the Stanley Cup. But before that, hockey guys hung out in Maplewood, Soulard, the Hill. They're not as recognizable as the other sports, but once you get to know them, they are what you said, the blue collar, the community
Right.
people. They're like NASCAR drivers. to me.
Right.
NASCAR drivers are the same way to me. When I
Down to earth.
very down to earth.
Right.
They really believe in the fan. They don't think they can do this without the fan.
Barrett Jackman was in the penalty box one game, and there's a glass on one side, and he's on one side, and this little girl, 3 or 4 year old little girl, is on the other side of the glass, And instead of paying attention to the game, he's knocking on the glass, trying to get her attention, waving to her. You know what I mean? That's cool stuff.
It is.
And you remember Chris Pronger?
Yes, my man. That's a big dude.
Yeah, oh my God, so tall, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. We did this thing at the radio station where we waited tables for charity. It was at Planet Hollywood when Planet Hollywood was still on the
Arnold
landing.
Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone old place.
Yeah. So we got teamed up with a member of the Blues, and I got teamed up with Chris Pronger. Now my son is Chris Porcelli, so it's a Chris P. CP. They had the same initials, so he fell in love with Chris Pronger. So I had to go out and buy him the Chris Pronger jersey. But Pronger was like, "Hey, here's my number. Give me a call anytime you want." I'm like, "You sure? Because I'm a pain in the ass." He was like, "No, give me a call." So I'd give him a call. I'd put him on the air, So, do you remember Bob Costas used to do, or maybe he still does, the galas for Cardinal Glennon?
Yes, yeah.
It was at the Fox, and it was intermission, and my wife and I went out to have a smoke, and we're standing outside, and it was packed. I mean, the sidewalk was packed. I mean, you've been to the Fox for a theater show or something where
Right.
it's packed out there at intermission, and all of a sudden I hear somebody go, "Yo, Vic!" And I said to my wife, "Who the hell is this?" I turn around, it's Chris Pronger, So it's kind of cool that everybody saw Chris Pronger yell my name out. I thought that was kind of neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of miss the actual fans being in the sports arena
Yes.
and around the facility, but I do like the content that the commentators have been bringing and the way they got creative with the
So now
cutouts
I've missed
and
that.
the
So
VR.
give me an example.
It's been pretty cool. Like yesterday's Cardinal game, they were talking about a player that went to Wentzville, and the announcer said he stayed home from school. And I lost my mind. I yelled at the TV. It's called homeschool, man. He didn't stay at home from
Right,
school.
right, right.
It's things like that. And they
Right.
bring up conversations about autographs, about a stadium situation, their first time there, and this and that. I like how it's just not just about the game anymore.
Yeah.
They're bringing actual sports facts there as well,
Yeah.
which has been pretty cool.
Dan McLaughlin's one of his most famous stories is when he got to do his first game with Jack Buck. I guess Mike Shannon couldn't do the game that time, and Dan was going to do the game with Jack Buck. And Dan was sitting there in the press box, and he had all his notes and all of his prep out there. And Jack Buck walked up to him and said, "What's all this?" And Dan said, "This is my prep." And Jack took all the papers and threw them in the garbage. And he goes, "The game's out there, son."
Oh man, I love your Jack Buck.
Not bad, right?
By the way, that's pretty damn good.
I don't believe what I just saw. Well, here's the famous one, right? Smith corks one down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. The Cardinals win the game by a score of 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. Go crazy. Come on, it's pretty good, right?
That's excellent.
I love doing Jack.
Get you on a video game.
What?
Like the voiceover for a video game announcement.
I would love
should
it.
be.
That'd
It
be
should be.
amazing.
That's it. That should be the next phase.
I would love it. So, what do you think about the piped-in crowd music and the CGI people in the stands? The NBA is doing that, but Major League Baseball is putting cardboard cutouts of people. What do you think about that?
I like it. I actually checked in to get my actual cutout in there, and I saw the fees on it, and it blew my damn mind.
Oh, you can pay to have your cutout there. I
It's
didn't
a lot
realize
of damn
that.
money. It's a lot of damn money.
I bet it is.
Dodgers is $500.
To get your cutout.
Yeah.
So when you get the cutout, is there like a webcam behind the cutout so that you can check in and view from the
No, it's
vantage
just
point?
like at the actual game.
For an extra
itself.
$500, I bet they should do that.
I had no idea it was that much money. I'm like, what the hell? Come on.
Just to have you out there.
And then some are only doing it for season ticket holders.
Oh.
But like when we got the soccer team the other day, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
And everybody
Boring
that you
game.
saw on there, those are probably people you see every day. The way they did that was pretty damn
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Now, I saw at one of the baseball games, they had a cardboard cutout. You remember Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah.
They had Dead Bernie. Was one of the cutouts. The guy with the blue shirt.
That's how you know you have too much money.
When
There's
you
a
can
lot
do
of
that.
people out there with a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
My wife calls them more money than brains. So, is your podcast strictly sports, or
I
do you
talk
go
about-
off on other stuff?
I
or-
talk about everything but politics and religion.
This show has nothing to do with politics.
Yeah,
ever.
I just can't do that.
Ever.
It's too much. You know,
Yeah.
it's, no.
No, don't care.
Get it in and get it over with. But I don't talk about the everyday thing you would think people would talk about when it comes to sports. I try to find something a little interesting about sports.
Yeah,
right?
like give me an example. Give me a
like,
cool.
like for Major League Baseball, the starting pitcher can't go past the damn fourth inning for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the Phillies game the other day.
Dizzy Dean used to pitch double headers.
Bingo.
Yeah.
A guy the other day scored from second base on a one hopper to right field by a left-handed batter.
Wow. How does that happen?
That's breakaway speed.
That's breakaway
I mean,
speed, man.
And I wish they bring base.
Was there
stealing
two
back.
outs at least? Was he
It was
running
two.
out
It was a
there?
game-winning hit by Bryce Harper.
Okay. So at least, he didn't have to worry about tagging up or anything. because
Nope,
there
he
was two
just
outs.
took the
Okay.
hell off. He scored from second base. That's like when Ken Griffey Jr. did it in the playoff series against the Yankees. He scored from first base when the ball hit the left field.
Wow.
I don't know too many people that can do that.
Enos Slaughter.
Look,
46
today's
World Series.
baseball.
No, I get it. I get it. It's a different game. It's the same game,
I
but
mean,
it's a
Vic,
different game.
you've seen every World Series.
Yeah, well, not since 1903, but I've seen a few. Yeah, thanks, pal.
I didn't think,
Did you
think
tell
you
him
were
to do
gonna
old
catch
guy
that.
jokes?
I didn't think you were going to catch that.
I caught it. That's all I get from them is how old I am.
Well, we're just glad you're still around.
I appreciate it. But it's the same game, but it's a different game.
It is.
You know?
It is.
Like people say to me,
Oh, God.
these are
Sorry about that.
people. When I talk to people about time travel, I will not give up on time travel. I'm hoping that one day time travel will happen. So let me ask you first, then I'll tell you where I would go. If you could go back in time, where would you go?
1970.
70? Where would you go?
The year I was born. I'm going to New York.
New York. I will go to New York too, but my time travel date is September 30th, 1927, to watch Babe Ruth hit his 60th home run of that season
That's
against
deep.
Tom Zachary
That's deep.
of the Washington Senators.
Wow. So time travel. Have you seen the Netflix series, The Umbrella Academy?
I started watching that.
We've been talking about it, but there's so much stuff to watch,
my
Dre.
God, man,
It's trippy.
It is. I've already finished season 2.
I will watch a time travel anything. I love time travel. I wrote a novel about time travel.
And then who was it? Let me think of the director who did this. Even Michael J. Fox was in it. It was on Netflix. It was a little African American girl, and her best friend played with time traveling, and Michael J. Fox is in it.
Of course he is. He has to be.
Yeah.
Marty McFly's got to be in it.
Yes,
Right.
and it was an amazing movie. It was. I wish I could remember the name of the damn movie. But I've been watching a lot of the time traveling.
I love time
movies,
travel.
and a lot of people really think they have done it. A lot of people I've met think they've done it. They did a RFT article probably 10 years ago. A guy in South City, they interviewed him. He said he time traveled back to 1962 or 65, somewhere, and they did a whole article on this. It was an RFT. Very interesting piece they did on that.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it, and I would only go back. I would not go forward.
Oh, no, I don't want to go forward. No.
That's
No,
terrifying.
no, I want to go back.
Yeah.
Find that old girl I missed out on.
Now let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If you could go back in time, let's say to 1963, would you try to prevent the assassination of JFK?
No.
You got to let it happen, right?
Some things need to happen.
Yep.
Some things, I saw a movie back in the day based on people going and touching things and moving things, and it messed up the future.
Right. Butterfly effect.
Yes, excellent first movie. The second one was horrible.
I don't know about the movie. I just know that the butterfly effect is it'll change things
That
drastically.
is one of the movies that still haunts me to this day.
Butterfly effect?
There are some scenes in that film that
creepy.
will not get out of your brain.
Right.
It's different.
As far as changing history, though, I did write a novel back in 1998. Didn't
Uh-oh.
go anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Y2K.
Okay. Oh,
Remember Y2K?
yeah,
Okay.
everybody freaked out.
Well, the thing with Y2K was for 100 years, when people abbreviated 1900, they would just put 00. They wouldn't put 1900. They would just put 00. So now we get to the point where 00 also means 2000, and the computers couldn't handle it, right? 1900, 2000. So I had this hero who was a computer guy, and he's trying to solve the Y2K problem, and he solves it, for drama right at midnight, and he pushes the button, and this big wave of light comes, and he falls back and hits his head on the floor, and he wakes up and he's in 1900.
Whoa.
Right? So now, first of all, just the time travel on its own, plus he's overqualified for any job in 1900. He was a computer guy. So he's sweeping the floor of a liquor store, And he's also a history buff, and he remembers that President William McKinley was assassinated in September of 1901. So he goes, I'm going to go save the president. I'm going to be the century's first big hero. So McKinley was at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, which was a celebration of Thomas Edison's light bulb. There was like this light tower of lights, they called it, and there was lights everywhere. And he went, and he was on that receiving line, and the guy who shoots McKinley jumps out of line, and my hero goes to get him, and some lady bumps into him and knocks him down, and McKinley gets assassinated anyway.
Wow.
So that was when on the ride back, he lives in Little Italy, so the bus from Buffalo to Little Italy, he said, well, I'm not going to try to change the future, but it would be cool to see the future. And believe it or not, he goes to Yankee Stadium on September 30th, 1927, and watches Babe Ruth hit his 60th home run.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a sports time capsule right there.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to go back in time and keep it sports related, oh man,
There's so many.
There's so many things I want to be a part of. Like my favorite team is the Denver Broncos, and for a long time, I wanted to be John Elway.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to move to Denver and sell cars for him when he bought
That's
the
so
Nissan
funny.
dealership back in the day.
That's so funny.
I was like that, and I wanted to be that acclimated with the dude. And then there's also some baseball stuff out there I wish I could have been at or a part of, or things like that, participated in, or seen it up close and personal. But that's like a deep thought process right there
Yeah.
when it comes to that time travel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up a Yankee fan. Well, first of all, if you live in New York, you're not allowed to like the Yankees and the Mets. It's against, there's an ordinance that says you can't do that. So you like the Yankees or you like the Mets. And usually if you like the Yankees, you like the Giants. Because they shared a stadium. Because the Giants used to play their games at Yankee
That's
Stadium
right,
back
that's
in the
right,
day.
that's right.
And the Jets played at Shea Stadium, where the Mets played. So I was a big Yankee fan growing up. My dad was a big Yankee fan. My biggest hero was Mickey Mantle.
No kidding.
And I got to see Mickey Mantle when I was 9 years old. My father and my Uncle Jimmy took me and my cousin Richie to Yankee Stadium for a doubleheader, the Yankees and the Kansas City A's.
Oh, I do remember the Kansas City.
That's how
A's.
old this was. It was a doubleheader, and I saw Mickey Mantle hit a home run righty and lefty, because he hit one lefty in the first game and righty in the second game.
Mickey Mantle was a beast.
He was
on
great.
and off the field.
And he played hurt almost his entire
Never
career.
was healthy.
You know, could you imagine if he didn't hit that trench or whatever he did to his leg? He would hit.
That's right. Yeah, that happened in the military, right?
No, it happened on the field.
It happened on the field?
Yeah, there was
Wow.
the thing that waters the field.
The sprinkler.
The sprinkler system had like a little hole in it. Not like Vince Coleman when he got ran over by
I
the
was
thing.
just thinking that. The
Yeah.
tarp.
Yeah.
Damn you.
This was different, and he screwed up his knee, and so he never really played without pain. Anyway, so time travel and baseball. I mean, have you seen Ken Burns' baseball documentary?
I got one better for you.
Go ahead.
Kurt Russell's dad, Bing Russell. It's called The Battered Bastards of Baseball.
Huh.
It's on Netflix. It is an amazing
Documentary?
Yes. And it's about this guy, Bing Russell, bought a minor league baseball team in Portland, Oregon.
This is Kurt Russell's father.
His father.
Go ahead.
Who was, he got killed more times than anybody on Gunsmoke Bonanza.
Ha!
More than anybody.
That's so funny.
And when he buys the team, everybody think it's a joke because he's an actor, but he really was vested into this whole baseball process.
Mm-hmm.
So this team that he had, they end up beating some Major League Baseball teams.
Wow.
Nobody wanted this team. It's an amazing documentary.
Right.
And it's called The Battered Bastards of Baseball.
It reminds me of, there's a documentary. I am the biggest Harlem Globetrotter fan
No kidding.
you will ever meet. I love the Harlem Globetrotters. And there is a documentary you can watch on YouTube called The Harlem Globetrotters, the team that changed the world. So not just sports, not just entertainment. In the 50s, early 50s, they were going to play in Argentina when Juan Perón and Eva Perón were in power. And the United States government said, we really don't want you to do that because we did not have good relations with them. Well, they went anyway. And Juan and Eva, especially Eva, loved the Globetrotters. And relations got a little better. You know? Here's the greatest story. In 1951, they did a game in Berlin, right? 15 years after Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals right under Hitler's nose, right? And they brought Jesse Owens with them. And, you know, Jesse Owens came out in a shirt and tie, and it was real cool. And then the Globetrotters made a circle around him, and he took off his suit, and he had the exact same tracksuit on that he had during the 1936 Olympics.
You know who took second place?
It was a German, wasn't it?
It was Jackie Robinson's brother
In what event?
at the Olympics.
What event? He won 4 gold medals.
In the sprint.
Oh, okay.
He
The
came in
100
second
meters?
place. Yeah, he
Oh,
came in
okay.
second
Did
place.
not know that.
Yeah.
So the mayor of Berlin comes out and says to Jesse Owens, he said 15 years ago, Hitler would not extend his hand to you. I extend 2 hands. And he held
Wow.
Jesse Owens' hand.
Wow, that's deep.
It tears me up.
That right there is deep.
All right, favorite baseball movie?
Favorite baseball movie, Field of Dreams.
Yeah?
Yeah. And also, which is real close, is Kevin Costner movie. When he's a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, For the Love of the Game.
Oh, okay.
Because he's telling a story while he's pitching. And he doesn't realize he's about to throw a no-hitter
Oh, wow.
until like the 7th inning.
Oh, wow.
He has no idea. He's zoned out.
Wow.
He did this thing on the mound called release the mechanism. So he couldn't hear nothing, couldn't see nothing.
Wow.
All he focused on was the batter and the catcher.
Wow.
And then he's talking to himself on the mound. It was pretty damn cool. That's a great movie.
My second favorite baseball movie, believe it or not, is A League of Their Own.
I like that movie.
I love it because the baseball is perfect. The baseball playing. Because you watch some baseball movies and they're just crap.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, The Babe with John Goodman, as much as we love John Goodman, but
Incorrigible.
when Babe Ruth calls the shot, 1931 World Series against the Cubs, for some reason the Cubs have their home dugout on the third base side, which is weird. Most teams have it on the first base side.
Right.
So he calls his shot, and as he rounds the bases, because I used to watch Biography when I was a kid before school. I used to watch Mike Wallace host of.
Oh my God.
I'm Mike Wallace for Biography. And there was only like 6 shows. It was like Roosevelt, Einstein, and Babe Ruth was one of them. And when Babe Ruth rounds second base, the Cubs are jawing at him from their dugout, and the Babe goes like this for some reason. When he's yelling at him, he's going like that. And in the Babe, they made John Goodman do this. And I was like, I'm out,
It's the little things they get wrong that piss you off.
Like 42?
Right.
When 42 came out, I said they better nail the Pee Wee Reese thing, because they were in Cincinnati and people were yelling the most vile things at Jackie Robinson, and Pee Wee Reese walked over to him, put his arm around him, and said, he didn't say it, but the message was, this is my teammate, like it or not.
Right.
And they nailed it, so it was good.
Yes.
So League of Their Own is my second favorite, and my favorite baseball movie, you're going to think I'm really goofy, The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. Yep.
Yes, and
Richard
Billy
Pryor
B. Williams.
and James Earl Jones,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
God, and I think my love of the Globetrotters really made me latch on to that, because all that barnstorming stuff that they did, and Esquire Joe is really kind of Jackie Robinson.
Yes,
because
he
he makes
is.
it to the majors at the end of the movie.
Man,
the Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and
There it
Motor
is.
Kings is my favorite baseball movie of all time.
That's a great movie, and there's not too many movies that really have captured the Negro League story. They
Even bring it up.
They don't like the movie Long Gone with Peter. He was on CSI Vegas, the main actor on that one. He played in it, and it was on HBO. And they kind of talked about it a little bit, because they used to have the Negro League would play the white baseball players in the All-Star game every year.
Right.
And they bring up Josh Gibson in the story.
Josh Gibson, the only guy to hit a ball out of Yankee Stadium.
That dude was something
Babe
else.
Ruth never did it. Josh Gibson hit a ball out of Yankee Stadium.
He was something else, man.
Now, I'm sorry, to get back to the Globetrotters, because only white people could play in the NBA back then.
Right.
And the Globetrotters played the Minneapolis Lakers with George Mikan. Remember George Mikan?
Yes.
00, wore
George
double zero
Mikan
with the
Sports,
glasses. And the Globetrotters won. They beat the Lakers, And then that started to get more attention, because back in the day, they would have an NBA game and then the Globetrotters. Well, the Globetrotters would play first, and then they would have an NBA game.
No kidding.
And then the Globetrotters would play, and everybody would leave. And there would be like, 100, 200 people watching the NBA game.
Did not know that.
So, Nat Sweetwater Clifton was the Jackie Robinson of the NBA.
Nat Sweetwater Clifton. That's a deep name.
He played for the Globetrotters, and then he was the first guy to play in the NBA, first black player to play in the NBA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's drop us some sports knowledge. I know the Globetrotters.
No, it's not
come
knowledge.
here.
It's just stupid trivia that I'll never forget.
I
Because
know a bunch of useless information too. But they used to come here every January and play the Checker Dome. I remember that because my little cousin, his birthday was every January, of course.
every
so-
January, huh? Wow.
So I would go to the Checker Dome every year and watch the Globetrotters
Yep.
play around January 19th.
Yep.
But I haven't seen them play in such a long time.
Yeah.
But they were definitely fun.
I mean, Meadowlark Club. There's a movie that actually I got turned on to the Globetrotters. My cousin Richie again, and I saw this movie called Go Man Go, which has Dane Clark plays Abe Saperstein. Marcus Haynes is actually in it, and Goose Tatum is actually in it. Goose Tatum was the
Tatum.
Meadowlark
Yeah.
Lemon before the.
Yeah.
And Goose Tatum's arms were so long and his hands were so big. He used to come out for warm-ups with his arms wrapped up in his warm-up jacket, and then he'd come out to mid-court, and then he'd just let him go, and it was like, wow. He used to be, he used to hold the basketball like this, you know what I mean?
Your hands past your nickel, your knee, I'm done.
Yep.
You tall.
Meadowlark Lemon, Curly Neal, Geese Osby, Bob Showboat Hall. I mean, I just absolutely love the Globetrotters.
Globetrotters were awesome. When the last time you saw them?
I'm not here to make you jealous, Dre. But in 2008, I got to play on the Generals.
Shut up.
Did. They were doing this thing around the country where they would find a radio guy who was into the Globetrotters the most, and that was me. And I got to be on the Generals. I got 1 point in Globetrotter scoring history. I got fouled, and I hit the first one. I missed the second.
Oh, man. What was the shorts looking like? You had the long shorts
Green.
on, you had the tighty whities on.
No, they were long. They were just 2000.
Okay, gotcha.
They got rid of that stuff back in.
Yeah, I don't know how they even done that. There's no way in the hell
Right.
these dudes. Can you imagine Shaquille O'Neal's shorts?
I couldn't imagine me, and I did play basketball back when the shorts were that short.
I did too in gym class.
Yeah,
Gym class.
yeah.
Then we went long shorts. Thank
Yep.
you, fighting the line now.
Definitely is more comfortable the new way. Dre Montez is our guest. He is a podcaster, and he does "Who's to Blame" is the name of the podcast. Do you do that stuff on your podcast? Is your podcast video too, by the way?
I do a video as well as audio. You can catch the audio through Anchor, but I do the video on my Facebook page, Who's to Blame. Also my Instagram, Who's to Blame, the podcast, and on Twitter at W2B Dre Montez, and also YouTube Dre Montez.
Okay.
So it goes different platforms. I do the video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and the audio is out there Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Yeah.
And so it's everyday content.
I've just been hanging out with the wrong people because I have been doing I'm a huge poker fan. I love to play poker. I love to watch poker. I'm a fan of the game. And my friend Andy and I have done a poker show on and off since 2009 when it was actually on the radio on 1380 here when 1380 was a sports station.
I was on 1380.
It was on Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. And then when the station went under, we went to podcasting it. And we had literally listeners from around the world. You know, there was a thing called Podomatic, which used to, this is before like anybody was, you know, now iHeart's the biggest podcast.
Right.
And they used to send us a map of where all our listeners are from. And it was like from almost every inhabitable continent, you know. And we would talk to winners of the World Series of Poker main event. We would talk to Lon McCarron and Norm Chad from the baseball broadcast on ESPN. It really, really was a good show, but we never made a dime.
Wow, that's amazing to me that poker is such an into thing. Because I know a lot of people that play poker, but I don't. I found something unique about poker. Women are good at it.
That's right.
Women are
My wife's
damn
better
good
than
at
me.
it. Yeah.
She is.
But women are excellent at poker. And I think now, with the pandemic going on, I think now would be the time to probably bring that thing back and show people how to play poker and win at poker.
Well, we got a poker studio. I mean, we have a podcast studio.
There it is.
Podcast studio.
There it is.
We were talking about just giving me one lesson each episode.
With her, I got to start from a pair, you know, the ranks. You
I
know?
play spades.
That's it. Me too. I can play spades, pinochle, and 52 pickup.
That's a fun game.
That's it.
It's a fun game if you're holding the cards.
That's it. I'm out right there.
That's
but I
so
love
funny.
me some spades. Give me some spades, some barbecue, and some hip hop.
Somehow I never learned how to play spades, but I know how to play hearts.
I played hearts one time.
I think they're similar games.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit.
But I never really learned how to play spades. So, who's to blame?
Hey, I know that guy.
Look at you in a suit. I don't think I've ever seen you without a hat on.
I know that guy.
You look good, man.
Not bad for a 49-year-old. Not bad. Not bad at all.
You can find that at Facebook, Who's to Blame. Give the Twitter handle again.
At W2B Dre Montez. DREMONTZ.
Okay. I'm going to check in with the Who's to Blame podcast. Because like I said, I loved sports. Sorry, I started that story and never finished it. So I was a sports fanatic. I mean, to the point where I was a letter carrier for the United States Postal Service.
Look at you,
when I
huh?
was a
Getting it in,
kid.
huh?
Yeah, I should have stayed because I'd be retired on a pension now.
Oh, God, you would have been so bored with your
But I wanted to get into radio. So I passed the postal exam. Uh-oh.
Only doing stuff.
Yep, that's my
Kids,
phone.
do your homework first before you watch the
I'll
cartoons.
call you in just a bit. I love you. I'll call you in just a bit. I passed the postal exam, but when a number came up, I can almost any number of what somebody who wore that number.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the address of this place is Jeter, Torrey,
It's
Ruth, and Martin.
2631.
2631. Jeter
So
wore
much
2,
easier.
Torrey wore 6.
Wow.
I mean, that's just.
You are really a numbers sports guy. Then.
Well,
I mean, that's some
not
detail.
stats, just what you can see.
Wow, that's
you know?
deep.
Like I was having this conversation with somebody who goes, "Oh yeah, well, what number was Manny Sanguian?" I was like, 35. Just something I remember, you know. And you know, here's an interesting fact for you: the Yankees no Yankee will ever wear a single digit on their back ever again.
Why is that?
1 through 9 are all retired. Billy Martin. Jeter hasn't been retired yet, but you know it's gonna. The
coming.
captain. Ruth, Garrick, DiMaggio, Torrey,
Murderer's Row.
Mantle, Berra, Maris, and that's 9.
Wow.
1 through 9.
That's a historic ball club, man. I mean, whether you like baseball or not, or you like the Yankees or not, that's a historic team.
Historic in so many ways. Still no names on the back.
I like that.
I do too.
Some
Still-
things don't touch it.
No hair down to your collar and no facial hair.
Can't do that at all.
You know?
Keep it uniform here.
I love the beards though.
I have no problem with it. It's just how they run. That's how they. I mean, what was the guy that played on the Red Sox and then went to the Yankees?
Johnny Damon.
Johnny Damon was a freak. When I tell you, full beard,
Caveman.
hair, caveman look, hair down to his shoulders. And when he came to the Yankees, he was clean cut,
Clean, crisp.
no facial hair, and his hair didn't come down to his collar of his shirt.
There's a policy and procedure here. You must adhere to these rules or get up out of here.
Is there anything wrong with that?
Not at all.
I mean,
It's your league. I guess you do what you want.
no, it's not the league. It's
It's
the
your
team.
team. It's
Well,
the
yeah, it's
team.
your
Because
team.
you
Other
look at some of
teams-
these other players, like my man Bryce Harper.
What about him?
He's losing his mind with his hair.
Yeah.
His hair is all over the place now.
Is it long?
Oh my God.
I did not know.
Caveman.
Wow.
Caveman. Caveman.
It's easy. A caveman could do it.
Some guys are pulling off the not going to the barber or growing their hair out, being themselves, getting the beard in, because the women love the beard right now. That seems to be a big thing right now. The
Is that true?
beard.
I think it's true.
Yeah, the women dig the beard.
I can't grow a beard because people mistake me for Santa Claus.
You've got time.
You got plenty of time.
We could do your Christmas special. Christmas
Oh,
Day.
you should do it.
No.
Grow your beard.
No.
Like
First
St.
of all-
Aldrich's cut your hair. You should grow your hair.
I don't know how long, like, the first stages of a beard. I can't stop scratching my
Yeah,
thing.
you've got to get
I hate
past
this.
the
I hate
itchy
this.
stage.
I miss my pork chops, my sideburns, but due to the pandemic, I can't get my hair cut yet.
Do you have your beard done in a barber shop?
Yes, I usually
Sounds
wear
nice.
sideburns, but as you can see in the Who's to Blame picture, those are my pork chops.
Yeah.
I hate this thing.
Yeah.
I can't
What about
understand.
completely clean shave? No? Not your thing?
Oh man, that's gross.
Yeah.
Like nothing on my face.
Yeah.
I look like a 12-year-old kid.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
I'm trying to put out. No.
I mean, do you remember the day when you used to get ID'd at the store?
I got ID'd probably 2 years ago, and I high-fived
Show
a
off.
young lady.
Show off.
I
Right,
high-fived.
at this point in time, it's like, well, thank you.
Well, it's funny that kids, I was in Quick Trip yesterday, and this girl was in front of me, younger girl, but she looked older than 21 for sure. Went to go buy cigarettes, and the guy said, I need ID. And she's like, I got to go to my car to get my ID. So she goes to get the car. And when she came back in, I said, hey, enjoy it now, because it's going to go away forever.
Yes. Some people get mad when they get carded.
Right.
Appreciate it.
I would love to get carded
You never would. You know that.
just
never happen.
once.
No, you won't get carded.
I want to go back in time when I have to get carded. I want to time travel to 1976.
So I feel like when people card me, they're just trying to figure out how old I am.
Or get your real name.
Right.
Because
And
that's
your
what I
address.
used to do. That's what I used to do. I used to bartend. I would card people
Right.
just to find out her name.
Right. Hey, baby. Hey, baby, let me see some ID. So
I
you
used
jot this down. Okay, there you go.
I worked
Call you
at
later.
a fitness center once, and I used to do that. Be like, oh no, sir, we're gonna need to double check your identity here.
Yeah,
You have
yeah.
your ID on you. All right, Steve.
There you
Keep
go.
going.
Where you
Have
going,
a nice
number 45?
workout.
Let me see
Come
that
here,
ID
come here,
right
babe.
now.
Mel Gibson. At Walgreens, if you buy cigarettes at Walgreens, it doesn't matter how old you are, you have to show ID.
It's just the law. Other states are like that. If you travel around the country and you're buying alcohol and cigarettes and stuff, it gets very obnoxious.
Like Louisiana, for once, I was in Shreveport for about 4 months in 2012, and you need an ID to do every damn thing down there.
Is that right?
Oh man, you can't do nothing, nothing. And then if you work in the restaurant industry, you have to have a very specified ID card that you have to get through the state.
Wow.
It's crazy out there, man. What you said, when you travel a lot, you learn about the laws when it comes out. Boston's the same way.
Right.
To drink in Boston, you need a stamp on your ID
Wow.
to say that you can drink.
Huh. This
It's
state, I think,
wild.
does it the best way. If you're legal, your ID goes this way. If you're not, it goes this way.
Is that true? Is that real?
Yeah.
That's right. It does look that way.
If you're under 21, you have a vertical vertical ID, and if you're not, you're horizontal. You're that way.
Huh. Interesting. It's been a minute though.
Good to know.
Yeah. Well,
I
getting
don't
ID'd.
remember Pennsylvania. There was no liquor stores or anything. You could buy 6-packs of cold beers at bars, but not.
Yeah, I remember that.
Not.
There was a
liquor.
word for that too. There was a special phrase for that. I forget what it was. I'm sorry.
I
go
don't
ahead.
know, but you would go to the bar, get your 6-pack, and then end up taking 5 shots of Jameson.
Right. Just for a head start.
Just while you were there. I mean,
Right.
everyone else is in there.
The thing about IDing kids, like let's say for cigarettes, you have to be 21 years old to buy a pack of cigarettes. You can be 18 years old and go fight and die for your country, but you can't get cigarettes because cigarettes will kill you.
You don't have to have a license to drive a NASCAR.
Is that right?
You don't have to have a driver's license.
What?
Yeah. It's crazy
Not
out
on the
there.
road, I
That
guess.
explains a lot of those crazy accidents. in the NASCAR track.
All of a sudden, the NASCAR world becomes very clear to me.
Dre, it's been great to meet you.
Man, it's been a pleasure.
Maybe
I
we can
love
do
you
this
guys
again
and show-
sometime.
Oh, yeah, anytime. I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah,
We didn't have time to get to the Olympics today, but we'll
you guys,
get
you
to it
touched on
tomorrow.
the Olympics.
Curling. I love curling.
No, the thing is, when we started the show, we talked about weird hidden talents that we have. If you name any year of the Summer Olympics, I could tell you what city it was in.
I had
92.
one.
92 was Barcelona, Dream Team.
94.
There was none. Summer
96.
Olympics. 96 was Atlanta.
2002.
2002 was Athens.
So what's your other hidden talent?
That's it.
Let's not forget about the baseball jersey number thing.
Oh yeah, that
we
is-
talked about that.
I
that
don't even
is-
know what you call that talent.
What is that? Numerology? Facts?
Sports numerology,
Sports
I guess.
numerology.
Yeah. Joe Namath, number 12. Emerson Boozer was on that team. He were number 32. It's just, being an incredible sports fan. And I still haven't finished the story. So I was a huge sports fan. And then, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. I worked in sports radio for a year, 1380.
Mm-hmm.
And radio guys have big egos.
Yes,
Sports
they
guys
do.
have big egos. You put those two egos together and you create some ego monsters,
Yes.
And so I'm not the sports fan I was.
I put it to you this way. As an African American, a majority of African Americans in radio do music.
Mm-hmm.
Not that many of us do talk radio.
Right.
So that's another interesting twist on how the perception is when you do talk radio and you're an African American. That's another one there. Coming out of the South, oh my God.
Yeah, I bet. Wow. All right, so we'll leave you. If you were a ball player, what number would you wear?
17 or 63.
Well, you got to give me one.
63.
Okay.
6 kids. And
If you were a professional baseball player, what position would you play?
First base.
Okay. So we'll leave you with Bob Shepard. You know who Bob Shepard is, right?
Yes.
Announcer for Yankee Stadium for 60 years. Now batting. What'd you say, first base?
63.
First base.
Now batting, the first baseman, Dre Montez, number 63.
That work?
I love it. I love it right there.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the Porcelli's Deli. It's been great to have Dre Montez. Who's to Blame is his podcast. Find it on Facebook and listen to it because obviously just talking to him for the last 45 minutes, the guy's awesome. And we will see you tomorrow at noon. Anything to share before?
Well, I want you guys to remember, Denali delivers.
Denali delivers. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, look at there.
Denali delivers. Here's how it works. Make a list of what you need. We source from Home Depot or the hardware store of your choice. Text the list to 314-499-2992 to start your order. Then, Denali delivers your order on a scheduled delivery date. Denali delivers.